Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio, the 4th of May, 2025. Here's our episode list for this evening. We begin with Jerry at Fair Oaks. Then we have Moon over Africa, an episode of Sonny and Buddy, Juvenile Delinquent from Case Dismissed, Planet Man, an episode of Lux Radio Theater, The Road to Morocco. Yes, it's the comedy. And then Victory Theater with Love Comes to Andy Brown. And we close with the Black Museum. Let's get started.
Jerry at Fair Oaks.
Okay.
Slowly.
Oh, this whole thing has got me so shaky, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I thought it was after taps already.
Well, is there anyone in the washroom?
No, I don't think so, Lee.
Better close the door, then. We don't want to arouse any suspicion.
I'll say, especially after Captain Bogart caught Harold.
I wish they'd get here. I want to find out just what the captain said to Harold.
He told us all there was to tell.
No, I don't think he did. He was afraid to talk in the hallway.
Well, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight if Captain Bogart knows what we're going to try to do.
Now I'm getting nervous. What did you have to say that for?
Well, it's true. How long ago did Tattoo sound?
I don't know. Waiting like this makes you lose all idea of time. Seems like I heard that 2 hours ago.
Imagine waiting for taps. Any other time, we'd be wishing it wouldn't sound.
You said something then. Many a time I've been reading a book and at the same time hoping the bugler couldn't find his bugle.
Now, I can understand what you mean. It must be awful to be reading a real exciting story, and when you get to the most important part, taps sound. And you have to turn off the lights.
Well, but it always happens that way. And when you've got just about one more paragraph to find out who stole the pearls.
Ain't it the truth?
Say, maybe Tubby and Harold decided to wait until after taps to come down here. But if they wait too long, they may not get a chance to get out of their room. Say, my watch is in the drawer there. See what time it is, will you?
The top drawer?
Mm-hmm. It's right there under my handkerchiefs.
Where? Oh, I've got it.
What time is it?
Exactly 1:30.
Come on, quick. What time is it, Jerry?
1:30. That's what your watch says.
Well, again it happened.
What happened?
I forgot to wind my watch last night. Well, it can't be long before taps now. It just can't be. It's been days since Tattoo came. Tick, 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 tick. Minutes, 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 minutes. What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with me? What's the matter with me, he's asking. Do you feel all right, Lee, my lad?
I don't know if I do or not. I'll admit I've got the jitters.
You're telling me. Say, if we feel this way already, how are we going to feel when we get out to the powerhouse? And say, wait a minute. I'm the one who's supposed to have the jitters. I'm the one that's going to paint the stack.
Are we going to have to argue now about who has the better right to have the jitters?
Oh, let's forget it. Why get ourselves excited over nothing?
Who's excited? I'm certainly not. And besides, don't say over nothing. Painting the stack is one of the most important things you can do in your freshman year at Fair Oaks.
Okay.
Well, welcome. I thought you fellas would never get here.
The OD's right behind us. Quick, where we hide?
The OD.
Quick, under the bed.
Yeah,
Hurry.
under the bed.
Ouch, my shin.
Quiet.
Oh.
Sit down, Jerry. Grab a book or something.
Yeah, a book. Yeah, I've got one here. Sit down, too.
Oh, what a night.
Motion. Everything in order here?
Oh, yes, sir.
I heard someone yell ouch and loud.
Oh, no, sir.
What?
I mean, yes, sir.
Who was it? You?
It was me, sir. I bumped my crazy bone on the arm of the chair.
You must have bumped it awful hard, Dugan. Maybe you better go see Dr. Campbell.
Oh, it's nothing, sir.
Next time, hold that yell down. You're not out in the wide open spaces. There are other cadets here in Hayward Hall.
Yes, sir.
Better prepare for bed. Taps will be coming in any minute now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, kids, come on. He's gone.
I'll never be the same.
Oh, just as we started down the hall, I heard the OD coming down the stairs. I didn't know if he saw us or not.
Not so loud.
Boy, was that a close call. Almost 2 times in one night for me.
Say, by the way, you didn't tell us all the captain said to you when he caught you coming out of Captain Rowland's room.
Sure I did. He just said he thought he knew what it was all about.
And that he knew who the other cadets were that you were talking to.
Uh-huh. But he met in the hallway just before we came into the study hall.
Well, think now. You're sure that's all he said?
Sure.
You said something about telling your friends. What was that? I didn't get it.
Oh, yes. He said to tell my friends I got caught. They'd be glad to know.
I wonder if he has any idea that we're going to try to paint the stack tonight.
No, forget it. If he did, he'd look into it before this.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, there's Taps.
Turn the lights out, Harold.
Okay.
Hey, when do we go? I want to get this over with.
Wait till things settle down a little.
Ah, come on. Let's get going.
Shh, wait. Steps. It's the OD on his first rounds.
He's going down our chance.
Come on, then. We're ready. On tiptoes. Hey, you close the door behind us, Tubby.
Okay, I got it.
Shh, yourself.
If ever in your life you held a sneeze, hold that one.
False alarm.
Hey, go a little faster.
Easy.
Better make sure no one is out in the quad before we bounce out the door.
Hey, we better back in the gym.
Yeah, good idea.
Why wasn't I born with brains instead of looks?
That is a good idea, Lee.
Okay, quiet now.
And
Oh, he's got a hand. 2 of them.
I'm the guy that makes the wisecracks.
Quiet,
Can we talk loud now?
No, not yet. The door.
Hey, hurry it up now.
Shh, don't use a normal voice yet. We're not.
Come on, now, let's run for it.
Okay, let's go.
Don't you fellas run too fast now, or I won't be able to keep up with you.
Yeah, hold it down for Harold.
Hey, it's a good thing there isn't a full moon tonight.
Yes, that is lucky. There's just enough moonlight for you to work by. You scared now?
The worst part's over now. The painting will be a cinch.
What do you mean the worst part's over?
I mean getting out of the building.
Oh, yeah? How about getting back in now?
Hey, I never thought of that.
Well, let's worry about one thing at a time, Jerry. Coming, Harold?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Listen, we'll rest when we get to the west side of the gym by those trees.
Well, here's the trees. Let's take it easy now.
Yeah, we can go slower, but we better keep going. Don't forget, we've got to get back in bed before the OD makes his next round.
Yeah, that's right, we do.
Sure, because he looks in the rooms on his second time around.
Maybe we should have put our laundry bags under our bed.
You must have been going to the movies again. Any old time that would fool an OD.
Wait. Hey, look it. There's a light in Captain Gardner's apartment in the instructor's cottage.
Yes, sir, you're right.
Well, what of it? You don't think he's looking out the window?
He couldn't see us if he did. It's too dark out here.
Well, stay as close as you can to these trees.
Wow, what was that?
Oh, that was an owl up there in the tree.
An owl? He ought to know better than that. Owls are supposed to be wise, but popping off at a time like this isn't very smart.
Hey, come on, fellas, hurry it up. We're out in the clear now. We better run for it. We'll be right in that path of light coming from Captain Gardner's living room.
Hey, wait a minute. The front door's opening.
Well, come on, then. Let's run around back and keep running. Right over there in that last bunch of bushes on the edge of the parade grounds.
That was Captain Bogart. He stepped out on the porch for a second, but he went right back in again.
Oh, that's lucky. Gee, it would be tough if he caught us. Where's Harold?
I'm coming.
Well, we're almost there now. Tubby, listen, you run over and get the paint and brush. You know where you hid them.
Okay, I'll meet you over by the ladder on the other side of the powerhouse.
Okay.
Hurry it up. Boy, look at that smokestack. It's a shame to smear it all up with paint. It looks so nice and clean.
I'll bet you just hate to paint it.
Oh, I sure do. It's breaking my heart.
I'll bet it is.
Hey, it's not here. The paint's gone.
What? You sure?
Yep, it's gone.
Oh, that's swell after all this trouble. Now what?
Oh, found it.
Oh.
I got it now.
I'll bet he was just fooling us.
I guess I forgot which bush I hid it in. Here you are, Jerry.
Well, here, I'll take the paint. You go ahead and climb up, Jerry.
Okay. Well, here I go. Wish me luck.
Hooray for Dugan.
Here, Tubby, you better take the paint till I get up a ways, and then you can hand it to me.
Got it. Go ahead.
Boy, this is getting high.
Keep going. Don't look back. All right, I'll take the paint now. Stand on that first rung and hand it to me.
Okay, here you are.
Let go of the handle.
Wait, here's the brush, too.
I'm up. Come on, Lee.
All right, I'm right behind you. Here, I'll hand the paint to you. Got it?
Okay. Here, I'll help you up.
Hurry up now. Here's the ladder for the stack. Give me a lift.
It's keen. Okay, now I'll take the lid off the paint can. Well, here I go.
You don't have to be careful about the letters. Just make them big and work fast.
Okay.
I'll go on down now and stand by to give you warning with the other fellas.
Here goes the F.
That's swell.
How is it?
Good, Jerry.
Now the M. Is that big enough, Lee?
Fine, yeah.
I ought to do this for a living. I'm good at it. Now the A. Maybe I ought to sign my name to it. There. All done. Good job at that. Here I come down. Hey, Lee, come on and help me down this ladder. Lee? Hey, where are you? Come on now, quit kidding. Lee, Tubby, Harold, where are you guys? Hey, where are you? Come on, answer me.
Good evening, Dugan.
Captain Bogart.
Nice job of lettering you did on that stack, Dugan.
Yes, sir.
Too bad you're going to have to go right back up there and clean it off.
No, sir. Can't it stay until tomorrow? Till the upperclassmen see it? Please, sir.
You've gotten into the spirit of the traditions here at Fair Oaks, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, it would be a shame not to be able to show that work of art. Yes, we'll let it stay until tomorrow. But tomorrow, during dress parade, when Major Davis and his Army friends are reviewing, I want you to be up on that ladder cleaning off those letters.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Get back to your room now and get to bed. I'll talk to you more about this tomorrow.
African drums are talking. Over miles of veld and jungle, the weird throbbing of the drums beats through the tropical night. Drums made of hollow logs with skin stretched tightly over one end. Sometimes human skin. Village after village takes up the message to send it booming farther into the night. Listen. Searching for a lost tribe, spoken of by the natives as the Golden Race, Professor Anton Edwards, together with his daughter Lorna and his assistant Jack Martin, are in the wilds of French Equatorial Africa. The professor has come into possession of a preserved human head that talks. He believes it to hold the secret of lost Atlantis. Lorna was found wandering in a trance a mile from camp. They suspect it is the work of a local witch doctor. The professor, carrying the only gun, is walking ahead with Nguru, a native prince, while Jack, carrying Lorna, is straggling in the rear. Almost within reach of camp, 2 lions appear on the trail, cutting the girl and boy off from the others. The animals pause a moment, then charge.
Run, Lorna. Run for that tree, quickly.
No, Jack, I won't leave you.
Run, for heaven's sake, go. Are you mad, girl? Run.
No, Jack, I won't.
It's too late now. They're on us. Lorna. Jack. Are you all right? Yes, sir. We're all right. At least I think so.
What happened?
I don't know exactly. Those shots, they were from a heavy rifle. At least the first 2 were.
You 2 children all right? Tell me what happened.
Oh, I don't know rightly. But those lions, who shot them?
I haven't the faintest idea. When I ran back, one of them was thrashing about, badly hit, so I finished him. The other was stretched out dead.
Well, at all events, there's someone around here who doesn't want us killed. What do you make of it, sir?
Oh, please take me back to camp. I feel rather shaky.
Why, of course. I'll take her back, Jack. You can tell me what happened as we walk. Nguru, fetch the boys to skin the lions.
Aye, Buana.
We'd better have the skins brought into camp. Are you all right, Lorna?
Yes, Father. I'm all right. I'm shaken up a bit in my nervous system, but that's all.
What happened after I left you to follow me back to camp?
Well, I guess we lagged behind a little. I'd forgotten all about those 2 lions being near. Then suddenly they came into a patch of moonlight and stood staring at us.
Jack pointed out a tree and told me to run for it, Father, but I was so frightened I couldn't move.
That's not right. The fact is, Lorna wouldn't take the only tree within reach. There wasn't time for both of us to climb it.
Nice time to get squeamish about politeness, I must say. I might have lost the both of you because of it. Well, then what?
Well, then they charged, and they got mighty close, and a rifle seemed to speak out of nowhere.
The firing came from our right. I saw the flashes plainly.
Yes, so did I. From a bunch of high scrub. But who in the name of... No native could shoot like that. When the porters hear this, they'll certainly think we're bewitched.
Now that I can think more clearly, it sounded like a heavy automatic.
Yes, and evidently he must have had luminous sights. A white man, all right. Well, we have a guardian angel anyhow.
Oh, that campfire looks good. I'm frozen through.
You know, I think you better take a dose of quinine, Lorna, and go to bed.
Oh. Well, I'll take the quinine, but I don't want to go to bed. I wouldn't sleep anyhow. I'd see those awful lions coming at me all the time. Get my coat from the tent, will you, Jack? I want to stay by the fire a while.
All right.
Can you dig down into your memory, my dear, and recall anything about the earlier happenings of the night?
You mean before you found me out there?
Yes.
No, Father, it's all a blank. But it might come back. That feeling of something mentally drawing me into the bush is completely gone now.
Here you are, Lorna.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Now you two go on into the tent. I know you want to talk shop. I'll join you in a little while.
Now, wait a minute, young lady. You didn't think you were getting out of that dose of quinine, did you? Here it is.
Of course you would. Oh, I hate the awful stuff.
Well, the necessary evil in Africa, my dear. It sort of keeps the moths and bugs away, you know?
Well, here's to the man with the rifle. Oh, dreadful stuff. Now both of you run along.
Come on, Jack. I want to compare notes with you.
I've been wondering, sir. Did you do right in having the lion skins brought here? They really belong to the other fellow, you know.
Well, that's the reason I wanted them here. In the hope that he'd come and make a claim.
Oh, I see. And Guru went out to the boys, didn't he?
Yeah.
They ought to be back soon.
Yes. You see, Jack, the man who shot those lions is the same fellow whose tracks we saw join Lorna's when she was walking in that trance. At least it looks like it.
But why didn't he make himself known to us? What's his game? He must have the natives under his thumb, or he wouldn't be able to keep his presence around here a secret.
No, that's true. I understand a little about drum talk, but I haven't heard one of them beat out the symbol for white man except in relation to us. It's got me worried. We'll have to break camp the first thing in the morning. Here's Nguru.
Buana.
Nene, Nguru.
Mazungo's devil nap pega simba.
What's that? He says it was the white man's good devil that killed the lions. Well, that's a good idea. You tell Chenzi boys and Guru, eh?
Uh-huh.
The porters think we have such a proficient good devil working for us, we'll probably have a little less trouble with them.
Well, that's a relief. I hope that thought takes root.
All right, Guru. Get some sleep, what?
Aye, Buana.
Here, Jack. Take a look at this map. I want to go over some details with you. At present, we're over here, about 20 miles from the Bakari River. Oh, by the way, perhaps you're too tired to go over this now, eh? You had a pretty bad scare tonight.
Oh, I'm all right, sir. I've been charged by lions before. But then it was I who was holding the rifle and not someone else. Oh, hello, Lorna. How do you feel now?
Oh, fine, thanks, Jack. I think that scare shook my brain up a bit.
Well, did you manage to remember anything? Anything that could help us?
Not a thing, Father. There's only one thought in my head now, and that's to start traveling and keep going.
Well, you're likely to get your wish. We're going to start at daybreak.
Listen. The drums have started. Must be something important.
What are they saying,
Well,
Father?
if you'll only be quiet for a minute, I'll tell you. Great Scott.
Something wrong, sir?
No, there's nothing wrong. Except that they know we're going on safari in the morning.
What?
Pete's sake, how did they know that? We've only just this moment spoken of it. Are you sure that's the message, sir?
Yes, listen. This is what they're saying. White hawks take wing. Fly north sunup.
White hawks take wing and fly north at sunrise, eh? And they even know the direction we're going to.
Evidently.
I don't like that white hawk part of it.
Oh, well, that's nothing unusual. It's the way they have always designated the white man. It's just a drum name.
They've stopped.
Yes. Now we'll be expected, all along the line of march. The drums to the north have probably taken it up and are relaying it.
There's something very mysterious about all this.
Yes, I know. If I didn't have such convincing proof of what I'm after, I'd be tempted to get back to the coast. But I can't, Jack. The talking head has practically given me my line of march.
Oh, that ghastly thing again. Which way are we going, Father?
Just a little west of due north. And we have to pass over some bad country. The ground's all new to me.
Will we touch Lake Chad?
No, we'll pass to the east of it. And from then on, we can expect no protection whatever.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I have permission to trek around these parts as far as Chad. But north of that, we'll be going into Tuareg country. And the French won't guarantee anything. In fact, they won't give me permission to go in there. So we'll have to sneak in.
Then there'll be no need to touch any place where they're likely to question us?
No, we have supplies for an indefinite period. That is, providing we can shoot meat for the porters.
Yes, they won't work without meat.
And when we get past Lake Chad, we can send the porters back and use camels. They're surly beasts, but as long as you keep them hobbled, you know you've got them. Yes, so they have. Laura, I think you better get dressed for traveling. It'll be daylight soon, and there are heaps of things I want you to attend to before then. So, hurry, dear, will you?
Oh, of course I will. That's what I want, something definite to do.
All right, off you go then. Jack, we've got to move fast. The drum that's talking is a snake drum.
Well, what does that mean?
We killed a sacred python tonight, didn't we?
Yes, worse luck.
Well, I didn't think there were any snake worshippers so far up country. Evidently, I was wrong. The sect may be very small, but they're after us. By daylight, they'll be howling madly around here because we killed one of their gods. Oh, that you and Guru?
Aye, Buana. Guru come. Savvy snake juju drum. Him witch doctor plenty mad palava, huh?
Break camp and make trail as fast as you can, Guru. We don't want a fight on our hands.
When Guru know you snake woman for wa palava.
No, you bloodthirsty old ruffian. Go on now and get out of here. Hapana. Look for the Shanzi boys. Plenty kazi.
Aye, Buana.
You'll attend to the porters, Jack. But I do believe I saw him grin at the thought of a fight. Guru would rather fight than run any time.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to a fight for Lorna's sake. My stuff hasn't been unpacked.
So I'm ready to move at a moment's notice.
That's good. We've got to put some ground between us and those birds before they can organize, or we'll have a mob of yelling, bloodthirsty savages right on our heels.
Well, how long before they can get together, do you think?
All according to how far the sect is spread out. They'll gather around the priests and witch doctors for some instructions first. Then they'll hold a few rites to work themselves up into a fighting mood.
But, good heavens, sir. Listen to that thing, boy.
The talking head, Jack. Listen. It's warning us. Warning us against some impending danger. Go and stand by Lorna in case something happens. I'm going to help Nguru. Hurry!
Sonny and Buddy certainly gave the sheriff a real surprise when they told him they had found the $500 check at the very spot where Jim's body was found. The sheriff was a little disturbed at first, but just give him time and he'll explain everything. We find them still at the house car as the sheriff says,
You're all again me. You're all again me.
Listen, Buddy. What's that noise?
Why, it sounds like the sheriff crying.
Oh, the sheriff wouldn't be crying.
Well, it sounds like him. Let's look around. Maybe he's been hurt.
All right. The noise seems to be coming from this direction. Yes, here he is. Look. Come here quick, Buddy. The sheriff's lying under the truck. I believe he's been hurt. Sheriff, what's the matter? Are you hurt?
You're all again me. You're all again me.
Hurt nothing. He's been drinking.
Drinking? The sheriff drinking? No.
You're all again me. I haven't got a friend in the world, and I just had to drown my sorrow and drink.
Sheriff, aren't you ashamed?
You boys accused me of killing Jim. You know I wouldn't do nothing like that.
Well, we only told you what we suspected.
I can explain everything about losing that check.
But, Sheriff, can you explain how you happened to lose it so near the spot where Jim's body was found?
Yes, you told us you lost it when you fell down in that mud hole.
I know it. That's where I thought I lost it, but I can explain everything. You remember I told you boys I went back out in the woods to do a little private investigating after you told me about hearing the shots and the man scream?
Yes.
Well, most likely that's where I dropped the check when I was searching around the woods for clues. You know I wouldn't have no reason for wanting to kill Jim.
Well, you have just as much reason as Mother or Dad or Betty or Charcoal. You're always ready to accuse them, so why shouldn't we accuse you?
Yes, and if we were to go to the police and tell them that you were in the woods at that time and that you mysteriously disappeared just before we heard the shots and that we found your check on the very spot, they'd have you in jail on suspicion.
And you know, Buddy, I think it's our duty to tell the police what we know about the sheriff. Don't you?
Yes, I do. Come on, Sonny. Let's go tell them.
Oh, no, now, wait a minute, boys. Don't do that, you know. You know, boys, I've been as good to you as I could, and I've hauled you around in my automobile, and all I ever asked for you to do was to buy the gas and oil. You ought not to take advantage of my old age and my ignorance by trying to have the police put me in jail. I couldn't stand it, boys. I couldn't stand it. And now you accuse me of killing Jim.
Sheriff, we were just fooling. We don't really think you killed him.
We just wanted to show you how easy it is to convict someone on circumstantial evidence.
You mean you ain't going to tell the police about finding that check?
No, Sheriff. If you'll just stop accusing our family, we won't tell anyone a thing about you.
It's a bargain.
But no fooling, Sheriff. We think we found out who really killed Jim.
You did? Who was it?
Well, we found a smaller cave inside the main cave, and there were several men in there. Two of them were quarreling. And finally, one of them said if the other didn't let him alone, that he'd tell all he knew about Sloppy Jim.
Jim Husted. Have you told the police yet?
No.
Well, I'll go right down to police and tell them what I've discovered. Them fellas may have been, they may have made an escape by now. Hey, boys, help me up, will you?
All right. Well, do you think you can make it, Sheriff?
You'd better not let the police smell liquor on your breath, Sheriff.
That's all right. I'll just tell them it's all in the line of duty. Besides, you ain't never seen me with a bigger load than I could carry, have you?
No. But we've seen you when you should have made 2 or 3 trips with one load.
Say, what time is it, Sheriff?
Time? Let's see, where's my watch? Oh, here it is. Let me see, time. It's Thursday.
Oh.
Well, boys, I reckon you got the real ace in the hole. Ace in the hole.
Look, here comes Doc. Yeah.
Well, what's the matter with the sheriff?
He's had too much to drink.
Well, boys, now that I have time to listen, suppose you tell me the big news you have for me.
Well, the first thing we want to tell you, Dad, is that we found the $500 reward check that the sheriff lost.
You did? Well, that is great. You hear that, Betty? The boys found their check.
Well, where did you find it?
Out in the woods. And that's not all. We think we found a clue as to who really killed Jim.
Have you told the police?
The sheriff has gone to tell them now.
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could solve this mystery? But come over here a minute, boys. I want you.
What do you want with us?
Well, I want you to try some cute songs.
Oh, you would. I thought you had something for us.
Well, I have after you finish. Now, Sonny, you try this cute song, will you? It's called A Lazy Day in the Sun. I like it.
Give me any old book, a shady nook, fishing rod and a hook, a babbling brook, a lazy day in the sun without a single thing to be done, just reading, fishing, dreaming. Give me plenty of trees for company, and the birds in the trees to sing to me. A lazy day in the sun without a single thing to be done, just reading, fishing, dreaming. Far away from trolley cars that rumble down the street, I just want to be there all alone. Out there in the countryside, the world right at my feet, where no one can reach me on the phone. Give me any old book, a shady nook, and a fire to cook the fish I hook. A lazy day in the sun without a single thing to be done, just reading, fishing, oh, dreaming.
Say, that isn't that cute?
Well,
I like that. Buddy, you sing this song, will you? And put everything you can into it. It's called A Night in June.
All right. That's pretty.
It is pretty.
It was a night in June, that was the start of it. It was a night in June, we two are part of it. I stole a kiss, and you shared some of it. We found some bliss. What has become of it? It was a night in June. What did we do with love? It ended much too soon, and we were through with love. Where are the dreams that never did come true? And now it's June again, but darling, where are you?
Isn't that pretty?
Pretty.
I like that.
Hey, boys. Hey, Sonny, Petty. I brought the detective with me, and I told them down at the police headquarters about the cave and the shooting. And the detective wants to know if you boys will go along and show him where the cave is. Will you?
Will it be all right, Dad?
Yes, if you're careful. Don't take any chances, though. And watch out for them, will you, Sheriff? Okay, I'll take good care of them. Up in the fort, boys.
How far is the cave, boys?
Oh, it's just a little ways.
When you heard this argument in the cave, did you hear the names of anyone mentioned?
Yes, sir. One of the men was called Spike, and he called the other Chief.
The one called Chief was a man with a pistol, and Spike was the one who had the stick of dynamite. Wasn't he, Sonny?
Yeah, that's right.
And you're sure you heard one of them say he would tell the police all he knew about Jim?
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sure.
Now, which one said that?
The man called Spike.
Oh, there's the cave just ahead of us. It's almost hidden by that clump of bushes.
Okay, I'll park here, Sheriff. I will have to slip in quietly. How far back in the cave is this room?
It's on the other side of that hole. You just walk across that plank, see? Be careful now, don't slip.
Now you'll find the door behind that big rock.
Oh, yes, here it is. Ah, it's locked from the inside. Listen. Didn't that sound like someone groaning?
It sure did.
Look out now, look out. This might be a trick.
Here, you can peek in this crack in the door and you can see everything.
Now, let me see. I can see a man lying on the floor. It looks like he's dead. Here, Sheriff, help me force this door, will you?
All right, come on.
Yes, there he is. Is he dead?
Now, we'll soon find out. He's been shot, all right. No, he's still alive. He's breathing, but that's about all.
Look, he's trying to speak.
Come on now. Come on and tell us. Who shot you?
They left me here to die.
What's your name?
Spike. Spike Matique.
Now listen, Spike. You knew Sloppy Jim, didn't you?
Yes.
You know who killed him?
Yes.
Or was it the boss or some of your gang?
No.
Then who killed Jim?
She did it.
She? Well, who is she? Well, what was her name? Speak, man. Tell us, what was her name?
Her name was...
Well, we'll never learn from him who she was.
You mean he's dead?
Yes.
Well, it seems that the boys arrived just a minute too late. But wait until our next chapter and see what Sonny and Buddy will discover.
Dismissed.
We weren't going to steal his old car. We were just going for a joyride.
I'll joyride you numbskull. Now get inside.
Out! There! Let out!
A boy buried in the sea starts down the trail of delinquency. One of the home factors. And what can the law do for him before it's too late? What can happen to have his case dismissed? WMAQ, in cooperation with the Chicago Bar Association, presents Case Dismissed. This is the story of legal rights, how vital to preserve and protect them, how easily they may be lost. Today's story begins in the law offices of Robert Dayton. A young newspaper reporter sits opposite him.
Well, Mr. Dayton, as I explained on the phone, my paper is starting a series on juvenile delinquency. From a constructive angle, of course.
Well, thank goodness for that, Mr. DeWitt. It's had more than its share of destructive publicity, especially when it comes to exaggeration. But why have you come to me?
Well, sir, you're widely known for your good work in movements designed to cure juvenile delinquency.
I'm glad you used the word cure, Mr. DeWitt. Delinquency is really a disease of a sick society, reflecting the insecurity of the times. That's why parents with stable emotions and a mature family life seldom have problem children.
Well, Mr. Dayton, I'd like you to give me the lawyer's viewpoint on juvenile delinquency.
Well, sir, although the family lawyer can be as helpful as the family doctor, if he's summoned in time, once a delinquent act has taken place, the lawyer's role becomes of minor importance.
You mean there's not much he can do for a youngster?
No, actually, I mean that the law is much more important than the lawyer because, well, Illinois was a pioneer in thoughtful legislation for juveniles.
Thoughtful?
Yes. Prior to 1899, if a child over 10 years of age got into trouble, he could be jailed and then taken before the criminal court, where a permanent public record was made. Then the Illinois legislature pioneered in making a new application of an old doctrine of English law under which children could be treated as wards of the state and protected by the Lord Chancellor. That was the basis for the Illinois law creating the juvenile court now called the family court.
In other words, the state had a responsibility to its youngsters until they reached adult age.
That's right. They became wards of the court if they were juveniles, meaning under 17 if a boy or under 18 if a girl.
Just what did this Illinois law do, Mr. Dayton?
Well, basically, it changed the entire attitude toward young people who get into trouble. It doesn't aim at punishment. It offers treatment of an ill, which is what delinquency is, after all.
I see.
Now, there's a big difference between an official and an unofficial delinquent. The official delinquent is one who gets caught. The unofficial delinquent is a member of a gang, what we call a natural playgroup, which indulges in delinquent acts, anything from skipping school to vandalizing homes and classrooms, and from running away from home to sexual misconduct or stealing cars. It's both an individual problem and a group problem.
Yes, I can see that now.
I'd like you to see it even more plainly. I'd like to tell you about Billy.
Billy?
Yes, we'll call him Billy Stone. His father works for an engineering concern, fancies himself quite an intellectual. Billy's mother is an affectionate woman, friendly and sincere, and an accomplished musician. The first time we meet Billy, he's 12 years old.
Lydia!
Yes, Carl?
Would it be asking too much for you to cease that infernal racket?
But, Carl, I get so little time at my piano. The evenings...
That's the way we'll keep it, Lydia. The only reason I bought this home with the extra bedroom was so that I'd have a place to go in the evenings to read my books. And what comes crashing through the walls? Your piano music.
But, Carl, I only play the piano for diversion. If you'd just come out of that room of yours once in a while, be a part of your family.
I don't want to be a part of my family. Heaven knows I have better use for my idle time than to spend it with a wife whose only topic of conversation is the latest trashy romantic novel, and a son who's both a weakling and a dull student. But it's true. I set up a punching bag outfit for Bill in the basement. He takes a couple of swipes at it and forgets the whole thing. Then I try to interest him in a chemistry set. After one experiment, it's too much trouble for him. The same thing happened to the mineral collection. I take time out to help him as a father should, and he doesn't even appreciate it.
But you're so short with him, Carl. One mistake and you're telling him how wrong he is, how dull...
Well, he is. Bill is a total loss when it comes to learning.
Carl, he can hear
What
you.
difference? The boy will never amount to anything. He isn't interested in anything worthwhile.
But he wants to learn to play the piano.
I said worthwhile. And don't let me catch you teaching him that sissy's hobby. Do you understand, Lydia?
I understand, Carl.
And another thing. You can just tell your stupid gang of friends they needn't come over here tomorrow night. I won't waste my valuable time talking their inane small talk. I don't choose to be bored. Tell them to stay home.
But, Carl, that's not fair. They're nice people, and if you'd just come out of that cave of yours and stop being a hermit, you'd enjoy them.
Hermit, eh? Well, that's the only worthwhile existence I can find in this dull family. Are you going to tell those morons to stay home?
Carl, I can't just...
Lydia, I'm warning you. Tell them to...
Carl, please. Please don't. You're hurting my arm. Carl, please.
Stop it. You're hurting my mother. Stop it.
Oh, so Mama's boy gets fresh with his father, eh? Here.
Carl, how could you all come here, Billy, dear?
That little fool. He won't cry. Why doesn't he cry?
No, Billy didn't cry, no matter how much he wanted to. But he did in the privacy of his room. And the following afternoon, he failed to return from school. His father raged, and his mother waited in stony fear for Billy to come home. Then, finally, that night...
Well?
The boy you're looking for?
Yes?
We have him here at the police station. Nabbed him just as he was boarding the bus.
Oh.
Said he wanted to leave home for good.
Oh, he did, eh? Well, you hold him there, officer. I'll be down shortly. I'll teach that brat to run away from me.
Billy's father taught the boy in no uncertain terms. His mother stood by, broken-hearted, unable to stop him. Shortly after this, she began having violent headaches and returning to her room for long periods of time, a semi-invalid. And Billy? Well, young Bill's confidence gradually disappeared. He lost all faith in himself as his father continued to heap scorn on him, regarding him as a slow-witted youngster with no future whatever.
You know, it's hard to believe there are fathers like that.
Yes, it is, Mr. DeWitt. Bill's record begins to show reports of truancy now. Well, not serious in themselves, but danger signals of an unstable young fellow.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, when Billy was 13, the Stone family moved to a new home, this time in an industrial suburb of Chicago. There, the emotionally upset boy fell in with a gang of young delinquents. Well, the influence of his new companions began to show up at home now. Vulgar language and more defiant attitude. A secretive, evasive manner. He began using every trick he knew to stay out later and later with his gang. His mother became more upset, and his father more viciously domineering than ever before. Trouble was in the air, and it wasn't long in happening.
Yes? Oh, it's you, Mr. Gardner.
Is this your boy, Stone?
Billy? Yes, what's he been up to?
Plenty. I caught him with another kid driving off with my car. The other kid got away. They were stealing the car.
What?
We weren't going to steal his old car. We were just going for a joyride.
I'll joyride you, you numbskull. Now you get inside.
Ow! Cut it out!
Inside there, I'll take care of you later.
As you might have expected, Carl Stone beat his son Billy unmercifully. He tried to beat the name of Billy's partner out of him, but already he'd learned the code of the underworld. The respect of the gang meant everything to him. His quivering lips remained sealed. The neighbor threatened to inform the police of Billy's act, and Carl, the father, did little to prevent it. But Billy's mother rallied to his cause and went to see the only person of influence she knew, a precinct captain. He advised her strongly against letting the boy associate with tough characters. Said he had talked to Mr. Gardner, that the boy might have a police record if the police heard of it. And Billy got off this time. His few remaining privileges taken away by his father, Billy's existence at home became more and more bitter. To make matters worse, the domestic discord between father and mother increased. Billy turned more and more to his gang, and he began using every ruse in the book to get out of his house and join them in the evening. Sometimes he succeeded, but often his father discovered the secret and thrashed him for it. Kept close to home, Billy found little to occupy his idle hours. To encourage his interest in music, Lydia Stone bought a phonograph for her 13-year-old son and warned him to play it in his room only when his father wasn't home. Billy did his best, but one day he slipped.
Dad, you're home early.
That disgusting music. Here, give me that.
What are you going to do with my record? Dad, don't smash it. Don't.
Where did you get this infernal machine?
It was given to me by... Somebody gave it to me.
Give it to me.
No.
I said give it to me.
Oh, all right.
I'll put this where you'll never use it again. A fine thing, a child as slow-witted as you, wasting time listening to a phonograph when you should be studying, trying to catch up with your class.
Don't worry, I'll get by.
What's that?
I said don't worry. I'll get by.
I'll attend to you later, young man. You stay in your room.
After this incident, Billy turned even more completely to the gang. Not only did they accept him as one of their own, they had a makeshift clubhouse where a boy could forget his own unhappy home, and in it was a phonograph. Every kid in the gang loved the latest hot records, and they'd play them over and over as soon as somebody'd steal them from a record shop. And that, by the way, leads to young Billy's downfall.
Well, he was caught stealing phonograph records?
Well, yes and no, Mr. DeWitt. One evening, Billy succeeded in outwitting his parents with the excuse of having to go to the public library nearby for schoolwork. Instead, he met 3 other members of his gang, 2 boys and a girl. The objective of the night was burglary. The store was the Peerless Music Center, not far from the home neighborhood and well cased by the young delinquent. From the alley, they made their way to a side window. Like hardened criminals, they jimmied the window quickly and made their way inside the store. The cheap strongbox was easy enough to find and easy to carry, but opening it was quite another matter. While the 2 older boys struggled with the cash box, Billy and the girl inspected the music store. Billy spied a stack of new LP recordings, slipped a few choice items underneath his jacket. Something to please the gang, he thought. Something to make them proud of me. Finally, a splash of yellow light from the front window fell on the 4 of them. The night policeman making his rounds. They scrambled to their feet. The oldest boy tucked the metal box under his arm and gave the order to run and separate. They ran.
Stop! Stop or I'll shoot!
Billy Stone ran all the way home, then paused outside to catch his breath before entering, fearful of causing suspicion. Then he went in and headed straight for his room and his bed. His mother, ill as she was so frequently, lay asleep in her room. Billy's father, by himself with his books as always, heard the boy enter and was content with that. And Billy was frightened. He lay there in the dark, half expecting to see a policeman enter his bedroom, tense for the ring of the doorbell. But it didn't happen until the following morning, a Saturday.
Are you Mr. Carl Stone?
Yes, officer.
You have a son, Billy Stone?
That's right. What's he done, officer?
I wonder if I could see him, sir.
I'll get him, officer. What's he done?
Well, there's been a burglary in the neighborhood, sir. We only know he's been seen with a bad bunch of kids. I'd like to question him, please.
Certainly. I'll go get him right away, officer.
The police officer questioned Billy at length about his friends and his activities of the night before, but he learned little. It was incredible that a 13-year-old child could be so steeped in the code of the criminal. But the officer wasn't taken in. He knew his juvenile delinquents, and so he took steps to double-check Billy's story.
Billy, I found these phonograph records in your room. Where did you get them, son?
Well, tell the officer, or I'll...
Take it easy, sir. Billy, where did you get these records?
A friend gave them to me.
I see. When did this friend give them to you?
Well, I think it was about a month ago.
Who was this friend, son?
Well, I don't know. It was Charlie. Charlie Smith.
You're lying. You don't know any Charlie Smith.
How do you know? You don't know any of my friends, Dad. You don't know anything about me.
I'm sorry, Billy, but these records aren't a month old. They have the Peerless Music Center stamp on the back of the album. You see, they were taken from the Peerless Music Center last night, weren't they, son?
Well, speak up. Answer the officer.
Billy, you're going to have to come with me.
I suppose you're taking him to the police station?
No, sir. I'll take him to the juvenile detention home intake.
The juvenile detention home intake is part of the juvenile court building, and there the treatment for Billy's affliction began. Not punishment, mind you, but treatment. These are friendly, well-trained social workers who toil only for Billy's betterment, in a quiet, confidential way at all times. Knowing the information won't be used against him, Billy makes a clean breast of the burglary, as well as his earlier escapades.
Well, then the precinct captain was wrong when he warned Billy's mother about the authorities giving Billy a police record. Is that right, Mr. Dayton?
Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Stone made another mistake trying to enlist the precinct captain's aid again in Billy's case. The family court doesn't respect that kind of interference.
I certainly can see why.
Well, the following day, Billy was scheduled to appear before the complaint department of the juvenile court. His parents were notified and were asked to appear with him before the staff of social workers making the initial determination of the case. That was when they asked me to represent them. As you might have expected, the father preached and the mother sympathized, and never once did the two get on common ground. As the staff of social workers listened, they got the complete picture of Billy's life, and they prepared to make their initial determination of the case.
Oh, the social workers make the original decision?
Yes, Mr. DeWitt. They have 4 alternatives. One is filing a petition alleging incorrigibility and setting a court date, in which case the youngster is returned to the detention home.
I see.
A second possibility is that a complaint can be taken. That is, a record made of the offense and turned over to a probation officer who later checks with the family on the child's behavior.
Yeah.
In this case, the child goes home with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
A third method is the making of a letter file in the complaint department. It's not referred to a probation officer, and the youngster, of course, is released immediately.
Yeah.
The fourth possibility is rare, and that's where the case is dismissed and no further action taken.
Well, what happened in the Billy Stone case?
Well, Billy's past record was largely in his favor, but the seriousness of breaking and entering and burglary was sufficient to warrant a court appearance.
Yeah.
A date was set, and Billy was returned to the detention home, but only overnight. The next day, the court referee considered his case and released Billy to his parents.
And then I suppose nothing happened until the day of the court appearance.
On the contrary, quite a great deal happened. A probation officer visited the Stone family and Billy and put together a thorough social history on each of them. She learned about their backgrounds, their personalities and attitudes, their family relationships, everything that had any bearing on Billy's habits, emotions, and tension.
Yeah.
It was obvious that the unrelenting and domineering attitude of Carl Stone was the one major factor in Billy's feeling of insecurity and inferiority.
Mm-hmm.
All this he could forget when he was with the gang, where he was an equal, as long as he kept their rules. Before the probation officer concluded her interviews with the Stones, each of them made rather revealing statements about their plans for the future.
I feel that I've let my own emotions run away with me at Billy's expense. I think if I spend less time in bed worrying about my own troubles and ailments and more time counseling Billy and offering him constructive guidance, well, I'm sure he'll have no more problems he can't bring home.
Well, I can't stand by and see Billy bring more shame on the good name of Stone. Maybe I can do something. I'll try to extend myself a little in an attempt to understand the boy. I give you my word on that.
I know I've done wrong, sir. And honest, it isn't fun stealing and things like that. The fun is just belonging to the gang. I think most of the kids feel the same way. After a while, you get the idea that you can't stop it. I think if they all had a chance to start over, they'd be pretty good kids.
And what about you, Billy?
You can count on me, ma'am. I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to mind my parents and behave from now on. I won't be getting into trouble again, ma'am.
The probation officer took a favorable view of the future as she prepared her report for the family court judge. Billy's father remained a psychological stumbling block, but the renewed determination of his mother, coupled with Billy's healthier attitude, promised real hope.
Well, when did the court hearing take place, Mr. Dayton?
About 4 weeks after the original appearance in the complaint department.
I see.
Before that, however, the state's attorney's office has the right to demand that a case involving a crime, as Billy's did, be turned over to the grand jury for action.
You mean he could be prosecuted as a criminal?
Yes, the courts have held that our law on juvenile delinquency does not prohibit criminal prosecution. But there are quite a few ifs in that, Mr. DeWitt. First of all, if the child is under 10 years of age, he's presumed to lack criminal capacity and can only be proceeded against as a delinquent.
I see.
If he's between 10 and 14, criminal prosecution is possible only at the state's attorney's discretion.
Mm-hmm.
And if the state's attorney can prove the child knows the difference between right and wrong.
And Billy wasn't quite 14.
That's right. And the state's attorney's office decided against criminal prosecution. So the family court proceeding took place as scheduled, again with no reporters or spectators present.
Mm-hmm.
I was there again purely as legal counsel for the Stones to help explain any technicalities that might not be completely clear to them. Mm-hmm. The police officer who had apprehended Billy read the charge to the judge of the family court.
Billy, are the facts exactly as the officer read them?
Yes, sir. That's all true.
All right. Then I think we'll ask you a few questions, Billy, and then a few questions of your parents.
Patiently and thoughtfully, the judge questioned the boy, learned his opinions and attitudes, then turned to his parents for further comments. Previously, he had studied Billy's complete file, including the case histories prepared by the social workers. The court asked for the recommendations of the probation officer. The probation officer felt that domestic discord and failure to respect and attend to the boy's emotional needs had been important factors leading toward his delinquency. She had obtained promises of a much improved home life from Billy's mother, important concessions from his father, and Billy's own word that he would leave his gang activities and seriously work at a healthy, worthwhile life. His recommendation was against commitment to a treatment agency at this time. He believed Billy belonged in his own home if it was improved, as promised. The judge heard several others connected with the case and finally presented his own recommendation. He recognized Billy's good reputation up until recent developments, but he sternly warned him where his present path might lead if he continued to follow it. He emphasized the need of respect for the property of others, and you could see that Billy understood.
Well, what about Billy's father in this picture?
The judge had a message for Billy's parents, of course, and an especially harsh one for Carl Stone.
Carl Stone, it is neither the duty nor the wish of the family court to involve itself with the normal relationship of families or of one member of a family with another. But when such actions lead to antisocial developments, we must interfere and, if necessary, take action. Now, there's little doubt in my mind that your unfeeling attitude of smugness and actual hostility toward your son, your unwillingness to build and preserve a happy home life, have been prime causes for his downfall. There's nothing in his past record or in his educational tests that show the subnormal intelligence you claim. I'm going to send Billy home with you and Mrs. Stone. In 6 months, I want you to appear here in court again. Meanwhile, the probation officer will call on you once a month. If this boy of yours doesn't find the security and recognition necessary to keep a growing young fellow off the streets and away from destructive gangs, then not only will Billy answer to me, but you, Carl Stone, will answer to me in full. Is that clear to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Cases of this type are rarely dismissed completely, Mr. DeWitt. However, there were two other alternatives for the judge. He could have committed Billy to the newly organized Illinois Youth Commission for further study of his case and possible commitment to the Illinois Training School at St. Charles. Or he might have referred Billy to a special school or farm for a period of time with Billy's parents paying the cost.
Well, did his decision to send Billy home work out?
Yes, it did, Mr. DeWitt. Billy straightened out wonderfully, and most of the thanks goes to Mrs. Stone, who had developed his home life and training. Carl Stone's only contribution has been to halt his domineering attitude toward the boy and his mother. His company has put him on the road, and I suppose you might say his absence from the scene has been helpful in a negative sort of way.
Well, the important thing is that Billy Stone is back on the right path.
Exactly, Mr. DeWitt. And Illinois' intelligent approach to the treatment of their young wards can be thanked to a large extent. While it's true there is quite a maze of laws, courts, and institutions, the new Illinois Youth Commission has greatly improved the situation. It's good to know that in our state, the constant aim today is true justice for our juveniles.
Now here to comment on today's story is your counselor, Dean John C. Fitzgerald of the Loyola University Law School. Dean Fitzgerald.
In addition to the immediate threat of delinquency to society, there is still another danger which most youngsters do not realize. That is his future. Many times a chance to succeed in a trade, business, or profession can explode overnight when your childhood record comes back to haunt you. That is the reason why family court proceedings in delinquency cases are not recorded. That is also the reason why it is important to hire a lawyer if your child is involved in legal trouble. He can offer good counsel that may well prevent future occupational tragedies. If you do not know a lawyer, get in touch with the Chicago Bar Association. The association offers, as a public service, a lawyer reference service which will refer you to an attorney. In addition to this, the Chicago Bar Association has a special committee on juvenile delinquency and adolescent offenders, whose purpose is to keep an ever-watchful eye on legislation and administration of justice pertaining to juveniles. May I point out, as always, that the legal points in today's story were based on Illinois law and may not apply in your state. I must remind you, too, that the facts in your situation will probably differ from the facts presented in our story. This difference in the facts may change the application of the law. With this afternoon's story, our Case Dismissed series comes to a close. We hope that these programs on your legal rights and how to protect them have been helpful and enjoyable to you. Until next we meet, this is your counselor, Dean John C. Fitzgerald, wishing for each of you a good night, good luck, and good laws.
Case dismissed. Case Dismissed has been written by Robert Carmen and is based on information supplied by the Chicago Bar Association and its lawyer members. All characters were fictitious, and any resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. Members of the cast were Gretchen Thomas, Stanley Gordon, Jack Lester, Harry Elders, Carlton Cadell, and Jerry Garvey. Case Dismissed is produced by Betty Ross. Direction is by Herbert Lateau. Musical effects were transcribed. Sound by Tom Evans. Engineering by Dan Hozak. This is Lee Bennett speaking on behalf of the Chicago Bar Association and station WMAQ, thanking you for listening to our broadcast and for your letters and comments about the series. We hope you'll join us again next fall when we hope to bring you more stories about your legal rights on Case Dismissed. This is the NBC Radio Network.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Ginny Sims in The Road to Morocco. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. All a producer needs to guarantee a smashing success at the box office these days is faith, hope, and Crosby. And our faith is considerably strengthened tonight by the addition of Ginny Sims. Bing and Bob hit the jackpot for Paramount with that epic drama of music and mirth called The Road to Morocco. And believe me, there's nothing wrong with your morale that The Road to Morocco won't cure. If you've seen the picture 3 or 4 times, like most people, you know that any resemblance of 2 characters in this play to a couple of living persons is no coincidence. They are really Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. The Road to Morocco comes pretty close to setting a record for the number of people who've asked us to present it. Since the Paramount picture came out, I've lost count of all the letters you've sent enclosing Lux toilet soap wrappers as your tickets to this play, if we could get it. Along with his soap wrappers, one man offered me a personal bribe of a porterhouse steak. Well, this is one theater where you don't have to pay to get in. It's our way of showing you that we appreciate the support you've given our product. The result is that you win 2 ways. You get a hit play like The Road to Morocco and a hit product like Lux toilet soap. You can't beat that for a double bill. Now we're off on The Road to Morocco, starring Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Ginny Sims.
The freighter Star of Cape Town was sunk today off the coast of Africa by a series of mysterious explosions. All hands are safe and accounted for with the exception of 2 unidentified stowaways.
Just a minute, Lou. All right, that's enough music. Hold it. Hold the music. Ladies and gentlemen, we aren't going to set a scene for tonight's play, for those 2 unidentified stowaways have been found. They're right here in the theater with us. These 2 boys are cousins, Jeff and Orville Peters. They went through this experience together, and we're going to hear about it in their own words. Orville Peters, will you tell us, please, about the time you spent on that raft after the shipwreck?
48 days in a raft. 48 days under the broiling sun without food and water. 48 days.
What do you mean, 48 days? It was 48 hours. We had plenty of water.
Now, just a minute, Jeff.
What are you trying to do, get a 4-page spread in Life or something? 48 days.
Listen, who's telling this story?
We're both telling it. You heard what the man said. The man said we're both supposed to tell it.
Well, the man asked me to start, didn't he?
All right. Get it straight.
All right, 48 hours in a raft.
Better.
48 hours drifting helplessly on the sea. Oh, I didn't care about myself. It was my cousin Jeff I was worried about.
Oh, isn't this awful? Listen to him.
Jeff was all on edge. It got to the point where he was biting my fingernails. Cut it out. Will you, Jeff? Cut it out. Cut out that whistling. I can't stand it anymore.
Here now. Yeah, what's the matter, son?
Whistling, all the time whistling. Your mother must have been frightened by a tea kettle.
Now, Orville, take it easy.
Take it easy, he says. Look at us, 2 on a raft, sunny side up. I'll tell you how to get home, you said. We'll stow away, you said. No, sir, I said. Don't be a sap, you said. No, sir, I said. We're stowing away, and that's that, you said. No, sir, I said.
Yeah. What a brilliant conversationalist you are.
Yeah, I took one look at that seagoing crate, and I knew it would blow up in our faces.
Wait till they find out who was smoking in the powder room.
Never mind that. Now, look at us. Food gone. Nothing to eat.
Say, hey, what's that bulge in your pocket there?
Huh? Yeah. Oh, that bulge? Oh, that's just a little...
Yeah, what is it? Come on, let's see. Come on, reach.
Well, I tell you, it's only... Well, what do you know? Look.
Yeah, well, what do you know? 2 biscuits. Holding out on me, huh?
Well, I was going to wait for your birthday and put a candle on yours.
Please. You don't mind if I bite into my portion, do you?
No, go on, bite. What do I care?
Thank you, Turkey.
You can spit your teeth right over here next to mine.
Like biting into a blockbuster. Well, Turkey, we got to face it. We may be days and days and days without seeing ship or land. We're going to get hungry. Mighty hungry.
What do you mean, get hungry? When we started, this raft was 9 feet long.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll toss a coin. You ready?
Go ahead, toss.
Here we go. Now, Turkey, you call it. What's the date on the nickel?
1910.
You're right, 1910. But what month?
June.
That's pretty close. It's July. Well, that's the way it goes. Somebody loses, somebody wins.
Okay, so you win the nickel. See if you can find any white meat on that buffalo.
Turkey, old man, I have a TL for you. We tossed for something much deeper than that.
Yeah?
I remember a story once about two fellas like us, castaways and hungry. They tossed a coin, too.
Uh-huh.
The fellow who survived used to tell his grandchildren about his pal's sacrifice.
Hey, that's very... Hey, wait a minute. What pal's sacrifice?
I don't know, though. You're all blubber, not much meat. You wouldn't make a good-sized patty, Fatty.
You mean you... Jeff, you're losing your buttons. You mean you'd eat me without ketchup? Don't do it, Jeff. There must be an easier way to get on we the people.
Calm down. Now, calm down, Junior. I'm not going to do anything right away. I might not do anything for a week or so. Not until I get desperate.
Oh, Jeff, listen, you wouldn't like me. Once I bit my tongue and I tasted awful. Help, Jeff, don't, help.
Turkey,
Jeff.
look.
Huh?
Look over there. Am I seeing things?
What's the matter?
Look. It's land.
Land?
Land. Yoo-hoo!
We're saved! We're saved! Yeah, there it was. Land. We jumped off the raft and started to swim to shore. But Jeff was weak and he couldn't make it.
Who was weak? Who was that?
So I put my arm around his waist. I just made it. And started to swim with one hand. Boy, I saved his life that day.
Oh, brother, get this.
Pulled him up on the beach. He was all in, unconscious. I started to work over him. I worked for hours.
Come on, Turkey. Turkey. Come on, open your eyes. Open up, Junior. You'll be all right. Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
Oh.
Come on now.
Oh.
Come on.
Gee, this is a switch. Me getting slapped by a man. Say, what happened?
Well, you tried to save me, Junior. Come on now. That's a big boy.
Oh, stop slapping me. I'm conscious now, ain't I?
Well, it's hard to tell with you.
Yeah, fine pal you are. All I hope is that Aunt Lucy's looking down from above and seeing the way you're treating me lately.
Oh, you're going to start stuffing Aunt Lucy down my throat again?
Yeah, well, never mind. She saw you tossing that coin and licking your chops. You're certainly sloughing off your promise to her. Aunt Lucy. Boy, I can see her now lying there in her dying bed, looking at you with those big, trusting eyes. Before I go, Jeff, promise me you'll always be a friend to little Orville, she said. No matter what happens, you'll never leave the little jerk, she said. Promise me.
Yeah, and then she up and died before I had a chance to say no.
Jeff, don't.
What's the matter with you?
Boy, I only hope she didn't hear that. You know, the dead have a way of coming back.
Oh, get out. When they're dead, they're dead.
Not Aunt Lucy. She was a Republican. She was such a good Republican, she had her will chiseled on a Wilkie button.
Okay, Junior, okay. What we got to do now is find out where we are. Is that right?
Right.
Let's see. Oh, look. There's a signpost.
Hey, see what it says. The road to Morocco.
Morocco, 74 miles.
Last chance for gas and oil. Fill up at Flanagan's. And keep to the right to let Rommel by. Hey, what do you know? Listen, do you hear something?
I didn't hear nothing.
Listen. There.
You catching up a cold, Junior?
I didn't do that. It came from way over there, behind that sand dune.
Well, jumped up Jehoshaphat. Look at that.
It's a horse.
A horse? Oh, did you ever hear of a horse with a long neck and two great big bumps on his back?
Leaving yourself open, aren't you, Dad?
Don't be silly. That's a camel. That's a ship of the desert, and right now we're going sailing. Come on, get up on that camel, Junior.
Okay, where do I sit?
Get in that rumble seat. I'm going to steer.
Boy, what a ride. This is the first time I ever did the rumble.
Get up, girl. Come on, girl. Hang on, Junior. We're off on the road to Morocco. This taxi is tough on the spine. Where we're going, why we're going, we'll know by and by. But we'll meet Jenny Sims, or we'll know the reason why.
Yahoo! We're
off on the road to Morocco. What's your tempo? Hang on till the end of the line. I hear this country's where they do the dance of the seven veils.
We'd tell you more, but we would have the censor on our tails.
We certainly do get around. Like Webster's dictionary, we're Morocco bound. We're off on the road to Morocco. Look out. Well, clear the way, 'cause here we come.
The men eat fire, sleep on nails, and saw their wives in half.
Seems to me there should be easier ways to get a laugh. We're off on the road to Morocco,
And somewhere I feel kind of numb.
for any villains we might meet, we haven't any fears.
Paramount will protect us 'cause we're signed for 5 more years.
We certainly do get around.
Like a complete set of Shakespeare that you buy in the corner drugstore for $1.98.
We're Morocco bound.
Or like a volume of Mordecai that you buy in the department store at Christmas time for your cousin Julia.
We're Morocco bound.
We arrived just at sundown at the quaint little Moroccan city of...
Chewing gum. Here, what are you trying to do?
What are you trying to do?
Well, it's my turn to tell the story now.
Well, where?
I'll be good, too.
All right, you won't be good.
Well, we arrived just at sundown.
You can read all the lines.
You just let me start, yeah. Standing there looking out the window. The quaint little Moroccan city of Karamish. We stood in the crowded marketplace watching the hawkers vending their wares, the native rug peddlers ruddling their pegs.
See what I mean?
Everything was serene, and then the gates of the town were flung open, and 20 horsemen came riding into town. This occasioned a slight flurry of excitement. Orville, where are you?
Right over here behind these goose pimples.
Well, I reckon there's been some sort of a shooting ruckus down at the Buckeye Saloon, huh?
Yeah, I ain't looking for trouble, partner, but if trouble comes to looking for me, I'm going to be mighty hard to find. I told you.
Wonder what it was all about.
Let's ask somebody. Let's ask that fellow there.
Yeah, why don't we? Hey, you there. What's the excitement, Grandpere? Who are those fellas?
He is Moulay Kassim, the desert sheik.
Well, what's he so excited about? Did he hear from his draft board?
He loves the Princess Shalmar of Karamish. He has come here to ask her to marry him.
Must be a Donnybrook when he comes for a divorce, huh? So long, Grandpere.
Say, Jeff, I'm hungry. I wonder if you can get a handout in this burg.
Place looks like it's loaded with food. Look at that.
Something to eat, please? Nice cutlets, figs and dates, meat pies?
Oh, no, thanks. We ate only 4 days ago. But could we just hang around and reminisce?
Boy, look at that food. I wish I had my drool cup with me.
Good evening, brother.
I'll have some of those. A little of that. And some of those.
Take all you want, my friend, all you want.
Money? Money?
No money. Take all you need, my friend.
Got too much of that cheese, I know.
What is this? Free cold cuts around here, everything on the house?
Boy, that USO really gets around, doesn't it? Well, what are we waiting for? I'll take a meat pie. Have one on me, Jeff.
Sure, everybody grab.
Take the hands off the food.
Ow! See, I did. The other fellow did it. Why can't we?
He is not sane. To us, such unfortunate ones are sacred. Everything is free to the dim-witted.
Well, my friend here isn't exactly John Kieran.
Say, I don't think that's fair.
Hey, wait. Come over here, Turkey. Come here.
Hey, can you imagine that? Just because a guy's got a loose bolt, he don't need a ration stamp.
Come on, now stop wrapping your rack and come over here. Look at me. Let me see. Look at me here.
What's that?
Yeah, you'll do fine. You're all right.
Hey, what's the idea of casing me like that, huh?
Turkey, from now on, you're sacred.
What do you mean, sacred?
You just became a full-blooded American idiot.
Oh, no, you do it. Who's going to believe I'm an idiot?
With the head start you got? Now, all you got to do is go into a shop, you put on that silly look, and you talk like this. Now, watch. You do like this. I'll take tomatoes, and I want tomatoes, and I'll take tomatoes, and I want tomatoes.
Let me have that slow.
You like this? I'll take tomatoes, and I want tomatoes, and tomatoes, and tomatoes, and I want tomatoes.
You feel all right, Daddy?
Let me hear you do it. Come on, now, let me hear you.
I'll take tomatoes, and give me tomatoes.
Oh, you're a pro. First shop we go into, the guy will probably load us. He'll throw in his daughter and everything. Come on.
His daughter?
Sure.
I'll take tomatoes.
Wait a minute now. Wait. Don't overstrain here. Here's a
likely-looking dive. Come on in, come on. Don't forget, lay it on good and thick. Siggers, here comes the owner.
Well, gentlemen, what can I do for you, huh?
Huh? What?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Oh.
Well, I want Dominoes and Dominoes and Dominoes. Hey, what are you doing, making fun of me? No, I always talk like that. Oh, you do, eh? Well, why don't you? Because I can't help it. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking. Oh, so you're saying I'm an idiot too, eh?
Well, if you think you're an idiot, I'm not going to argue with you because I...
What's that?
Not just
a minute. Wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute.
Wait. Don't hit him with that pot. Put down that pot.
He put it down. Now pull it off my head. Oh.
Now get out. Come on, get off in the premises.
All right. We were just leaving.
Woo!
Come on, Turkey. Come on, boy. There you are. Look at me. Look at me, son. You all right? Turkey, speak. Speak to me.
I'll take some of those.
Perfectly normal. He's all right. Something had happened to my cousin Orville. I could see that. Probably a touch of fever. We went into a cafe nearby and we ordered up a feast. Didn't have any money, but this was no time to quibble. As we sat there eating, we noticed the manager showing a customer the door.
Get out! Get out, you swine!
Hey, Commando. What was the trouble there?
The trouble?
Yeah.
He was one Kolak short in his bill. I'll kill him!
He's dainty, isn't he? One Kolak short. Jeff, how much is a Kolak?
Well, it's less than a cent and a half.
You mean they'd murder a guy for a cent and a half? Listen, how do you figure on paying for all this stuff?
What's the matter? You scared? You got red blood, ain't you?
Yeah, but I don't want to get it all over strangers.
Go ahead, eat up. Have a good time. Fling me one of those fillets over there, will you? Forget about it.
Hey. We look over there, those two guys making with gestures. I think they're looking at us.
They want to speak to us, huh? To one of us. Go ahead, Junior. You ask them what they want,
Listen, I'm not curious. Anyway, it's you they want, see?
Well, I guess I better go, huh?
Yeah, if they get tough, don't worry about a thing. I'll be right here under the table. Buy a rug for me, Jeff. Well, Jeff went over to talk to the two guys. I couldn't hear what they said, but they all kept looking back at me and counting up on their fingers. First it was 5 fingers, then it was 10. Then they shook hands all around, and Jeff came back to the table.
Hi, Turkey.
Hey, what are you so happy about? Who are those guys, the local bookmakers?
Garçon, I'll check, please.
The check? You got money?
230 Kolaks, please.
Here's 230 Kolaks for the little snack, and 5 for you.
Well, come. Let little Orville in on this deal. How'd you get the spinach, old boy?
It's a funny thing. A guy I never seen before in my life gives me 2,500 Kolaks. That's 200 federal diplomas. Are you listening?
200 skins?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What for?
I sold him something.
Well, you got nothing to sell. We already hocked your pivot tooth, and the Mayo Clinic refused my brain.
It wasn't much, but it was all I had, and was he anxious to get it?
What'd you sell him?
Orville, I want you to keep very calm now.
What did you sell him?
You.
Oh, well, for a minute. Huh? Me? Wait a minute. Get that guy and give him those fish back. What's the matter with you? You can't sell me. I'm not a horse. It's just the way I comb my hair.
I know, Orville. You and I know you're not a horse, but these people are peculiar.
What are you talking about? You going nuts? Why would a guy buy a guy?
I don't know. They buy anything. Any old junk.
Well, why would he buy me? What does he want me for?
I didn't ask him.
Listen, do you know why they buy guys in a country like this? For slaves. They pick you, they hit you with whips. They put you to picking guayuli. They beat you and they beat you.
Oh, they don't pick guayuli here.
Well, they beat you for whatever they're picking.
Why don't you relax? Why don't you relax? Take it easy. I got this thing all figured out, see?
Yeah?
I got plans.
Don't tell me about plans. All I know is I'm being caught with mine down.
Look, I got the guy's address. I'm going to get you back, and when I do, we'll be $200 ahead. What's that, 10?
Well, that's something.
Certainly.
Then 100 of that's mine.
That's what I'm telling you.
Well, come on, slip it to me. Put me in the higher brackets.
No use giving it to you now. If anything goes wrong with my plans, why, the money'd be wasted.
If anything goes wrong.
Yes.
Well, I'm getting out of here, see? You might have shown me, see, but you're not going to deliver me, see?
Oh, wait.
No, sir, see?
I don't have to deliver you. They're coming to pick you up.
Coming to... What?
Yes.
Who do you think you're playing with, children? You're talking to Turkey, the man with the muscles.
We are ready, gentlemen.
No, wait.
Take his feet, Abdul. Hurry.
No, listen.
So long, Orville. Now pick him up.
Stop, wait, let go of me, let go, Well, the least you could do is wrap me as a gift.
Too bad. You know, if he'd been a foot taller, I could have got another 100.
In just a few seconds, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Ginny Sims will return in Act Two of The Road to Morocco. Now, here's a conversation overheard at a department store blouse counter.
What do you think, Mary? I love that yellow. It reminds me of daffodils. Or what about this shocking pink? I'll just hold it up to my face before the mirror. No use. These high colors are no good with my skin.
Oh, Janet Scott, will you stop talking like that? You make me so mad.
Well, Mary, be frank. Doesn't my skin look dull as a dish rag?
Well, let me ask you something. Do you ever take any real care of it?
Well, I have so little time.
Oh, Janet, nobody has any time nowadays. But you could have a nice complexion if you really wanted to.
Beauty course, I suppose.
A beauty course right at home, dear, and costing next to nothing. Now, will you promise me to do what I tell you for a month if I promise you that your skin's going to look prettier? All right, it's a bargain. Let's make for the toilet goods counter and get some Lux soap.
And here's what Mary told her friend to do.
Use lots of the lather and smooth it well into your skin so as to get the full benefit out of it. Lux Soap's lather's very creamy, cleanses like a charm. Now, rinse off, splash on plenty of warm water. Now, finish with cold. Now, here's a really soft towel. Pat your face dry, don't rub. Simple, isn't it? Just do that 2 or 3 times a day to give your skin a quick beauty pickup. And above everything else, don't neglect it at bedtime. Be faithful about it. Do it for 30 days. Then, dear, you can give me your next coffee ration as a thank offering.
Yes, 30 days of regular Hollywood care worked wonders. There's a reason why 9 out of 10 lovely screen stars have used Gentle White Lux toilet soap for years. It's a real beauty soap. You'll like the satiny feeling active lather gives your skin, the new freshness and loveliness it brings. Begin your Lux Soap Beauty Facials tomorrow. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of The Road to Morocco, starring Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Ginny Sims. Our story continues. The boys had just reached the point where Jeff Peters sold his cousin Orville for 2,500 kolaks.
Oh, what a heel I am.
You ain't kidding, cousin. You're just a gremlin with ears.
Jeff, tell us, how did you feel after they took Orville away? Did you have a twinge of conscience?
Yes, I did. I couldn't get to sleep that night for almost 20 minutes. And then, like in a dream, I seemed to feel the presence of another party. It was Aunt Lucy. She spoke to me.
Jeffrey, you must find Orville, Jeffrey.
Aunt Lucy?
You must find him at once. Bring him back.
Well, gee, Aunt Lucy, I don't even know where to look. The fella I sold him to was only a jobber. He resold him later and wrote off his loss.
Jeffrey, do you know you've turned out to be a regular stinker?
I guess you're right, Aunt Lucy. Can't you tell me where he is,
Oh, I'm not supposed to, Jeffrey. It's against the rules.
Oh, gee, come on, Aunt Lucy. Gee, come on, tell me.
Well, if you go to the marketplace, then head east about 200 paces, you'll come to... I can't talk to you anymore now, Jeffrey. Here comes Mr. Jordan.
Well, I went out to look for my cousin that night. There I was, walking through the streets of Karamish. All around me, strange sights and strange smells. But none of them was Orville. Suddenly a note fell at my feet, a note wrapped in a stone.
A stone wrapped in a note, and it wasn't meant to fall at your feet either.
I picked it up and I read, Dear Jeff, flee for your life before it's too late. You can't do anything for me now. If you stick around, you'll only get us both into trouble, maybe killed. Say nothing to nobody about this. Flee, flee. Respectively yours, Turkey Peters. P.S. I am being tortured day and night. Flee! Flee! F-L-E-A. That's Turkey. That's him, all right. Don't worry, old boy. I won't let you down. I'll get you out, all right. There before me stood a palace, gleaming like ivory in the moonlight. And as I approached, I heard music and a woman's voice singing.
Constantly, I look for you. No day or two, but constantly, I wished you near, and now you're here, so close to me, and it isn't magic, and you do exist, for after I know when I feel it, and you were meant to be my heart's delight, not just tonight, but constantly.
I made my way through the palace, and at last found myself in a long tiled room. At all sides were Nubian slaves and dancing girls in dancing costumes, dancing. And on a mountain of pillows, a man in native costume lay reclining. I couldn't see his face, for a lovely girl was smothering same in kisses. At last she stopped. The man sat up and said,
"Hey, somebody unbraid my toes, will you?"
Uh-huh, so this is where you are. Well, ain't this a pip?
Take it on the lamb, brother. We don't want any cheese today. Beat it.
Who is this stranger?
Leave the country and forget you even knew me, he says. Flee, he says, flee. Why, you dirty double-crossing hoarder, you?
Take that man away. Remove him from my sight.
Yes, Princess, come.
Let go, let go.
Come.
Turkey, come on, tell him to lay off. This is me, your friend. This is old Jeff, Turkey, old buddy.
Turkey? Why does he call you Turkey?
Oh, the fellow is mad. Take him away. Toss him to the crocodiles. The ones that still have their teeth. That Pepsodent is wonderful.
He's my friend, I tell you. Let me go.
Wait. Orville, do you know this man?
Why, I never saw him before in all my life.
Oh, you dirty, underhanded sickle snoot. We were kids together. We were in the same class for years. Till I got promoted.
Let him go. The stranger will stay.
Oh, but Hun.
Come, stranger. Sit here beside me.
Wow.
Now, Orville, I want you to tell me the truth. Do you know him?
Well, I used to, but I kind of outgrew him. I don't dally much with riffraff these days, and he's a pretty raffy kind of a riff.
Oh, yeah? What are you made up for, anyhow? What is this? Ladies' night in a Turkish bath or something? What time do you clean the pool?
Might interest you to know, Buster, that you're now looking at the future Prince of Karamish.
Who?
I'm going to be a pasha with the accent on the pash.
Yeah. Trouble is, you passed out about 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, the Princess Shalmar and me are going to be married on, when is the big day dream thing?
When the moon in its last quarter silvers the blossoms of the almond tree. That's Tuesday night about 9.
Oh. What a pity. I should be listening to Hobby Lobby, I think. See, how can a dream like you really go for a drip like this, anyhow?
Well, it's written in the stars. I have been counseled by Hyder Khan, the wise one, to take this man for my husband, and I must obey.
Well, old Hyder Khan must have been reading last year's racing form or something.
Oh, is that so? Well, there's nothing you can do about it. See, I'm her Heathcliff. And believe me, I'm going to turn on the Heath. She bought me, see?
She bought you?
Certainly. You sold me to her for $200.
Yeah, no mistakes rectified after leaving the window. I feel like a black market, but just to show you there's no hard feelings, I'm going to stick around for the wedding. I'll even give you away, pal.
Oh, now, just a second. You've already given me away. Come on, blow before I press a button and have your head served up in a cup and a saucer.
Now, wait, look, come on. Now, wait, cut out this shoving. Cut it out, see? There'll be a room full of teeth around here.
Yeah, and you're going to look awfully funny with your gums showing. You better get out of here. I might forget that I'm the prince.
Not with that Arabian antimacassar you got on there. Get the sleeves on this.
Let go. Why, you ripped my sleeve. Do that again. He did it. Why, you do that again.
Gentlemen, please. What is your name?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey?
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey, I want you to stay here with me.
Well, I could be very happy here.
Could you, Jeffrey?
Uh-huh.
Wait. If he stays, I'm leaving. Do you hear it? I'm leaving.
Now, you can stay as long as you want to, Jeffrey.
Sure, stick around. Nice to have you. I knew why Jeff wanted to stay. He was trying to move in on me. He wanted to be the prince. That evening, just before dinner, my ladies-in-waiting came in to comb my hair and arrange my turban. A turban that's a stuffed fascinator with feathers. I will never forget Miramar, my head lady-in-waiting, and I knew what she was waiting for. Me.
Orville, oh, Prince.
Yes, Miramar?
Why is the princess going to marry you, Orville? She was to have married Moulay Kassim, the desert sheik. Why has she changed her mind?
Oh, I guess sheiks have gone out of style. What the modern girl wants is a nice, reliable wolf.
There's something very strange about it all. Something very, very strange.
Well, it's a strange country, baby. They got butter here.
Orville, listen. If this were known, it would mean my death, but in my heart there is a great love for you.
You too? Say, does everybody get this kind of treatment in Karamish, or have I got a C card?
Is my love hopeless, or do you perhaps have some crumbs of affection for me?
Oh, you know how a prince is. Later on, I may set you up in a little hat shop or teach you how to siphon gas or something.
And because I love you, there is something I must tell you.
I'm all ears, or haven't you noticed?
Oh, listen. The princess is unfaithful. She cares nothing for you.
Don't be silly. Nobody throws away $200.
Look, at this very moment, she and your best friend are in each other's arms in the gardens below.
Well, what?
Look, see them?
Why, the low-down, filthy, double-crossing centipede. Why, the crawling lizard. I'll show him what a salami has got to go through.
No. Don't waste your anger upon them. Orville, I love you.
Hey, let go.
You and I thus, and thus, and thus, will my love consume you.
From manufacturer direct to consumer, I go.
Oh, beloved, kiss me.
Thus, and thus, and...
Moonlight becomes you. It goes with your hair. You certainly know the right thing to wear. Moonlight becomes you. I'm thrilled at the sight, and I could get so romantic tonight. You're all dressed up to go dreaming. Now don't tell me I'm wrong. What a night to go dreaming. Mind if I tag along? If I say I love you, I want you to know it's not just because there's moonlight. Although moonlight becomes you so.
Say, Princess, I want to ask you something. Supposing you sort of put off this wedding for a little bit and I sort of hung around a little bit and maybe learned a couple of courses of black magic or something. You grew to like me a little bit. Wouldn't that change things a little bit,
No, Jeffrey, it would not. I like you now. The more I get to like you, the more reason I'll have to marry Orville.
You like me, so you're going to marry Orville. Boy, that's a new kind of brush.
That is the way it must be.
But look at here now.
Listen, it's Moulay Qasim. I must leave you.
But
good
Princess,
night.
Princess!
No, good night.
Where is he, this dog?
Hold your anger, Qasim. Wait until you've heard.
I have already heard. You are planning to marry this American.
Yes, Qasim, but it's only because...
Enough! Come, Ahmed. Let us find this jackal.
No, wait. First you must hear the words of Hyder Khan, the wise one. Hyder Khan, tell him what the stars have said.
O Lion of the Desert, it is here written that the first husband of the Princess Shalmar will die a violent death within a week of the marriage.
What is that you say?
It is also written that her second husband will be blessed with long life and happiness.
Now do you understand, Qasim? The American, as my first husband, will die within a week. And then I will be free to marry the man I love.
This is a great joke. Kiss me, Shalmar.
I heard them say it, Orville. The prince's first husband will die within a week.
Miramar, that's ridiculous.
I tell you because I love you.
Listen, the wedding is all planned. I just spent my last 3 ration points for rice. But there were 2 fellows here just now measuring me for some sort of an outfit.
Measuring you?
Yeah, I guess they're the royal dressmakers.
No, my beloved, no. They are royal undertakers. They were measuring you for a coffin.
You mean a zoot suit with a wood hood?
Yes. If you marry her, you die.
Hiya, Turkey. What's new in the Pasha racket?
Jeff, I'm glad you came in. Look, sit down. I got to have a talk with you.
Now, look, Orvie, I've been doing a lot of thinking. There's no use of you and I talking or arguing anymore. I'm going to beat it on out of here.
No, that's it. You're not. You don't have to. Look, I'm the guy that's shoving off, and you're taking Shalmar. See, I'm giving her to you.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, what are you cooking up here? The last gal you gave me was that lady wrestler up at the St. Nicholas rink. What's behind all this?
Well, I got to thinking about the marrying, and I got a hunch it wouldn't last. I got a feeling in a week I'd be cold. And besides, I got a girl, see? Hello, Miramar.
My sweet.
I met her at the harem right off the assembly line.
Nice model.
Yeah, and this is one I know won't be frozen for the duration.
He's going to fly with me. My love will consume him thus, and thus, and thus.
You know, a girl can eat too much yeast, you know. Go away for a second, honey, will you?
Oh, this is a whole new shuffle, huh? You two. Well, wait till Shalmar hears about this.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy to get Shalmar to give me up, you know.
Oh, naturally, it's just going to tear the heart out of her. But she might settle. She might settle for me.
Yeah, well, that's the spirit, and I'll be right behind you.
Sure.
Well, so long.
My beloved, why don't we fly right away?
Look, high octane. Why don't you just fly around and warm your motor up? I'll join you later, huh?
Orville, wake up. Wake up, Orville.
Okay, I'll get a job tomorrow.
Orville, it's Aunt Lucy. Wake up.
Oh, Aunt Lucy?
Orville, how can you sleep after what you've done to Jeffrey? You've got to tell him the truth.
Oh, but I ain't doing nothing. Look what he did to me.
I insist that you tell him.
No.
You must.
I won't.
Orville, when you were a little boy and you said won't, do you remember what I did to you?
Well,
there's still a little steam in the old wing.
Ow!
And the next time I'll slap you in the face.
Yeah, I don't know, Princess. This just doesn't add up. I want you, and you say you want me, and Orville says it's okay, until you're going to marry him.
I told you, Jeffrey, it's something I can't explain. Orville and I are going to be married, and that's all I have to say.
Oh, Princess, O Light of Karamish.
Well, Hyder Khan?
Princess, listen and be merciful. I have made a calamitous error. You must not marry that American. You must marry Moulay Qasim.
Moulay Qasim?
Speak. I must hear everything.
Oh, Princess, when I read the stars in the heavens that night, I read them wrong.
How could you?
Princess, forgive me. A fly got in the telescope.
Then my husband will not die?
No.
Jeffrey, isn't it wonderful?
What's wonderful about it? It just means Turkey's back in circulation and you get tied up to Muley Qasim.
Muley Qasim?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey, you may feel strange about marrying a princess, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to live it down.
You mean me?
Yes.
Oh, how about this? Wait till I break the news to Fatter Than Me. So that's why little Orville was so anxious to hand you over to me, huh? Wait till I tell that boy.
Well, don't say anything to him right now, Jeffrey. Not just yet. We must make plans for departure before Muley Qasim hears. Cosma, prepare a caravan. We will leave at once.
Now listen, Jeff.
What's the matter?
Why don't you get some sense into that shell and just you and me blow, huh?
Well, we're going to the United States to get hooked up, I tell you. This character Qasim is trying to kidnap her.
Boy, what a sneaky way for Lockheed to get welders. Listen, Jeff. You're in a bad spot. That guy Hyder Khan's got that jinx of his spread all over the world.
Oh, yeah? Let's see him mess around in Brooklyn.
Princess Muley Qasim!
Uh-oh, here comes Murdoch Incorporated.
Princess, he knows all!
Jeffrey, hide!
Too late!
Where is she? So, that is your plan, running away with this dog.
Don't call me a dog.
Why not?
The Cocker Spaniels resent it. Look, I'm not mixed up in this at all, Muley. I just work here.
Do you lie to Qasim?
No, Muley, settle down. It's a big switch now. I gave her up. I'm on your side. I'm your friend. They're ducking out on you, the dirty double-crossers. What do you think we ought to do with them?
What is this?
Nice going, Junior.
Silence! Who is this goat? This moon-faced son of a one-eyed donkey?
I wouldn't let him call me that, Jeff, even if there is a resemblance.
Listen here, big boy. Where do you come off cutting in here? Go on. Go play cops and robbers someplace else. Beat it, scat, you.
Boy, now you're telling him to go on, slap his teeth out. I'll hold your coat.
What?
Well, I'll hold your coat, too. In fact, I'll take it out and get it pressed.
Qasim, please listen.
Quiet. Come here, donkey. You would dare oppose the will of Qasim?
Oppose your will? Why, you'll be writing one if you mess around with me, Jack.
Oh, now you're talking. Go ahead, take a poke at him. We're not afraid of him, are you?
Enough! You're coming with me.
Who, me?
Both of you. Abdul, put them on horses. The princess also.
Now, listen, friend. Look, what's up? What do you think you're going to do?
Yeah, what about me? I'm innocent, I tell you.
Muley Qasim will take care of you on the desert. You shall die slowly. Your ears shall be sliced off and dried on sticks. The buzzards will feast on your nose.
What?
That's 16 points right there.
We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. After a brief intermission, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Jenny Sims will bring us Act 3 of The Road to Morocco. Country Gardens is one of my favorite songs, Sally, and I know what made you think of it.
Of course you do. It's these 6 packets of flower seeds in my hand, Mr. Kennedy. I can hardly wait to plant them.
You'll have good results from those seeds, Sally. They're first quality from one of America's leading seed houses. And now I'm going to tell everyone in our audience how to get them. Send in only a dime with a Lux toilet soap wrapper or the opening tab from a box of Lux Flakes and your name and address to Lux Flower Garden, Box 1, New York City, for a large package each of Cosmos, Candy Tuft, Zinnias, Morning Glories, Marigolds, and Poppies.
A selection to give you a garden that will bloom from early summer till frost.
And, Sally, these seeds have been treated with plant hormones for bigger, earlier flowers. Planting instructions are on the back of each package.
I'm going to have a wide border of zinnias and marigolds right around my Victory vegetable garden. And a window box, too, with lots of Candy Tuft and Heavenly Blue Morning Glory and marigolds.
Me for a bed of those Shirley poppies, Sally. They come in tones of scarlet and pink. And zinnias, too. These are the dahlia-flowered giant kind. And Cosmos for sure. They bloom right till frost and make fine cutting flowers.
I guess most everyone will have a garden this year, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, and we urge all of you to send for yours right away. Now, here's what you do. Send 10 cents and a Lux toilet soap wrapper or an opening tab from a box of Lux Flakes to Lux Flower Garden, Box 1, New York City, together with your name and address. You can get a handy order blank from your dealer if you wish. For additional seeds, be sure to enclose another dime and another Lux soap wrapper or another Lux Flakes opening tab for each extra set desired. Act quickly, for you must allow 2 to 3 weeks for seeds to reach you, and this offer will not be good after May 31st. I'll repeat the address. Lux Flower Garden, Box 1, New York City. Remember, you get 6 packets of seeds. Be sure to wrap coins securely and write name and address plainly. No stamps, please. This offer is good only in the United States. Now, Mr. DeMille returns to the microphone.
Here's the curtain for the third act of The Road to Morocco, starring Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Jenny Sims. Our 2 heroes, Jeff and Orville Peters, are facing a horrible fate. You will remember that Jeff, instead of Orville, was supposed to marry Shalmar, because Miramar told Orville that Hyder Khan told Shalmar that Muley Qasim, not Jeff, would die in Orville's place if Shalmar married Jeff and not Orville. Oh, what am I saying? If Jeff marries Shalmar and Muley Qasim marries Orville, Muley Qasim himself and not Shalmar will Jeff.
Wait a minute. You're a little confused, aren't you?
Well, it's a very confusing story, Mr. Peters.
Well, you got the whole thing balled up.
What seems to be the trouble, sir?
This man here is gumming up the works. This bystander here.
Oh, yeah?
Well, gentlemen, I'm the producer, you know.
Yes, we know. I'll tell you what you do, Bub. Just go over there and sit down.
What?
Go ahead, friend. Find a nice corner over there and lux your socks.
Just a minute.
Go ahead. Blow a few bubbles. Let's not argue with him. Let's pick up our soap and get out of here.
Yeah,
Come on.
No, please, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
It's all right, Bub. That's all right. Think nothing. Go ahead, Orville. Go right along.
Where were we before?
Yes, what is this? People walk in here and...
Oh, yeah. We're working in an alley. Muley Qasim. Muley Qasim had us bound hand and foot. They carried us out into the desert. And there they left us under the broiling sun. Our hands were chained behind our backs. Our legs were staked to the ground. Around our necks, they placed a 70-pound iron weight. A few hours later, we were walking across the desert toward a distant mirage.
You skipped something there.
Yeah? What?
Those chains and stuff. How'd we get out of them?
Oh, you think we ought to tell them?
No, they wouldn't believe it anyway.
Okay, let's not tell them. After all, does Macy's tell Gimbals?
Nah. Let's get on with this thing, huh? There we were, stumbling through the desert sands. The sun was beating down on us.
Yeah, fine pal you are, letting me give Shalmar up, and all the time you knew you weren't going to die.
Now, what did you do? You were going to let me marry her because you thought I was going to get knocked off inside a week.
Listen, this is no time to argue. Hey, look up there in the sky. You know what they are, don't you? They're buzzards.
Yeah, they're carrying finger bowls, too.
Fine way to end up, a box lunch for a bird.
There's a switch, Junior. A bird getting you. Hey, Turkey! Take a look over there.
Gee, a lot of tents stuck right out in the middle of the desert. What do you make of it?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. You see those guys? Those are Muley Qasim's guerrillas.
Yeah, and that joint must be their hideout. Well, we got to save the girls. It's up to us now, Turkey. We'll have to storm the place.
You storm. I'll stay here and drizzle.
I tell you, we got to get in there. Hey, I've got something that can't miss.
So have they. Guns. What have you got?
Listen, now get this. We go in disguised as a horse.
Yeah, that's a good... What?
A horse. We skin a horse and we get inside. It's a cinch. I got 4 nags in the Kentucky Derby that way once.
Look, Bubbles, the only horse you ever had in the Derby, you got in the Brown Derby. And they went in as filet mignons.
Come on with me. We'll find this horse skin. Okay. Gee, you wouldn't think it was possible, would you? 2 guys inside a horse skin. I'll bet we look like a real horse, eh? Hey, Turkey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine way back here. I feel like the tail gunner on a flying fortress.
Attaboy. Keep walking now. We walk right past that guard. You see him?
I see him, yeah, but does he see us?
Sure. He thinks we're a horse, see? He's looking at us right now. He still thinks we're a horse.
Yo!
Did he get you?
Yeah, right where the plow should have been.
Come out, you swine who was hiding in that horse skin.
Well, ain't nobody in here except just us horses.
Muley Qasim, quick! It is the 2 swine.
So, you return once again, eh?
Oh, now wait, Muley. We can explain this.
Take them away. Take them to the guardhouse and bring me back their ears.
Come, old man. You're taking this meat shortage too seriously. Fine thing. First you sell me for $200, then I'm going to marry the princess. Then you cut in on me, then we're carried off by a desert sheik. Now we're sitting behind bars waiting to have our heads chopped off.
I know all that.
Yeah, but the people who tune in the middle of the program don't.
You mean they missed my song?
Hey, what's all that? Hey, guard, who are those guys?
That's the great sheik, Neb Jola and his men.
Friend of Qasim's?
No, the enemy of Qasim. For 10 years they've been at war, but tonight Qasim has invited him to his wedding as a token of peace. Now be silent, both of you.
You ought to take something for your throat.
Jeff, Orville,
Shalmar, where are you?
over here by the window, quick.
Shalmar, any word from the governor?
Listen. I got permission to bring food. In this bowl, you will find native clothes and blacking for your faces.
What good are native clothes? Why didn't you bake us a nice cake with a landmine in it?
See, I've worked out a plan. It is complete except for one detail. Now, you put the clothes on, put black on your faces, and they'll think you're Arabs.
Yeah, but how do we get out of this jail?
Oh, Jeff, that's the detail I haven't worked out.
Oh, Gran.
Who's there?
The guard is coming. I must fly.
That's a great idea she's got.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. Say, did anybody ever escape from this jail?
Once, about a year ago, 2 men got out.
Oh, yeah? Tell me, chum, how'd they do it?
It was an accident. Till I had a cigarette, I placed my rifle in the window like this.
Hello. Oh, interesting. And then what happened?
One of the fellows reached through the window, grabbed the rifle, and pointed it at me.
Oh, you mean like this?
Exactly. Except that he put it right up against my head.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yes, and then...
Oh, stick 'em up.
And give us those keys.
Hurry or we'll spread you, brother.
Oh, dear. I've done it again.
A few minutes later, 2 natives appeared outside the wedding party tent. 2 figures muffled to the ears. Clark and Tyrone Peters. That's Turkey and me.
Look, Jeff, I don't get this. What's frying?
Well, I'm cooking up some small sabotage here. Mullah Qasim and Neb Jola are friendly tonight, but they're really enemies, right?
Right.
Now, here's the plan. We're natives, see? So listen. I take the plan. It's going to be a thing. What are you laughing at?
You're breathing down my neck.
You get the plan?
Oh, I get it. Divide and conquer. Brother against brother.
Yeah, come on.
Stop the music! Neb Jola, so great is my joy tonight that I wish to share it with you. May our tribes live together in peace for 1,000 years.
My hand on that, Qasim. And you are fortunate indeed to win the love of so beautiful a princess.
She cannot wait for my kisses upon her lips. Can you, my dove?
Qasim, you shall soon know how I feel about you.
There? You hear?
Oh, Muley Qasim, O lion of the desert.
Yes, Nebish, what is it?
2 native horsemen have arrived, O lion. They beg entrance.
Send them in, Nebish. All are welcome tonight.
Enter, horsemen.
Oh, greetings, O Sheik.
Greetings, O Lion of the Sands. We bring you felicitations on your wedding.
Welcome, friends. And from what tribe are you? Who is your master?
Our master, he's the great Sheik Bulbul Albul Bene.
Spelled backwards spells Benny the Bull. He says to congratulate you on our wedding to the beautiful Shalmar.
Our greetings, O Shalmar.
Why, you meant...
Ixnay.
Ache apwe ayat.
It's AFJ and Urkite.
Oh, yeah, I had it gay.
What tongue is this?
These men speak a strange language, O Sheik. I learned it from one of their tribesmen.
From what country?
Upland Bray.
Friends, you may tell your master that I accept his greetings. Tell him also that Muley Qasim and Neb Jola are now brothers.
No!
Yes.
Well, great news, O Lion of the Desert.
Yes, great news. And will you forget, old lion, that Neb Jola said you ought to have your mane clipped?
What? That is a lie. I never said it.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's all a thing of the past.
Certainly, drop it.
Like the time Mullah Qasim called Jola a jerk. Jerk Jola, he said you
I
remember.
No, never, your highness. If I thought that was true, my tribesmen here would tear your men into little bits.
Oh, now, don't fight, boys. There's nothing to get excited about.
Certainly not your brothers.
They're right, Neb Jola. There must be no shedding of blood. Please, my friend.
Very well. I will forget it.
Sure. Everything is forgotten tonight. Say, Neb Jola, oh, boy, will you ever forget the time you sneaked into Muley's harem?
What? My harem? Neb Jola. Will you believe this swine?
You snake, you viper.
It's a lie.
Here. Now, quiet, everybody. Sit down, Muley. Sit down, Neb. What's the matter with you guys?
Sure, it's all in fun.
Very well, but no more insults.
Your highness, my word.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, now we are friends again. It is good. What does it matter if once you were enemies? Tonight, Muley Qasim and Neb... Ow! Why, Neb Jola, you pinched me.
What? You swine! She lies. I never pinch.
Well, somebody did.
This is the finish.
Now, boys, don't shoot each other. Don't shoot.
No, use your knives.
Here we go. Here we go.
Come on, Miramar, come on.
The horse outside.
This way.
Let's go.
Let us fly.
Come on, honey, spread your wings.
Well, that's the story. We escaped during the brawl, and we reached the coast by camelback.
Then a boat to Lisbon, and then home to Brooklyn, and here we are.
Gentlemen, that's one of the greatest adventure stories I've ever heard. And the girls? I suppose you married them.
The girls? Turkey, the girls.
What's the matter?
The girls, Shalmar and Miramar.
Well, what about them? Where are they?
Well, you ought to know. I gave them to you.
You did not. I was taking care of the tickets.
Don't say that. Right there in the dock in Morocco. I said, here's the girls. I'll take the baggage.
Well, how did I know what bags you meant?
Turkey, I'll bet they're standing there on that dock now.
Yeah, but what are we waiting for? Come on.
Well, come on.
Gentlemen, come back.
Gangway, son.
Hey, which way is the road to Morocco?
Right now, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Ginny Sims are on the road to a curtain call. Every night when the good little producers of Hollywood go to sleep, they lie there and dream of casts like this.
Yeah, then they wake up in the morning, go downstairs, and bite their children.
That's no way to talk about Ginny Sims.
Ah, yes, Ginny Sims. Ginny, who do you think is more romantic, Bing or me?
Well, let's see. There's Bing's voice.
In my profile.
Then there's your clothes, Bob.
Have you seen Crosby's? I mean, when he has the coat plugged in? You may not think I'm handsome, but CB does. Why, do you know he tested me for Reap the Wild Wind?
Smart producer. You flunked, huh?
Well, I was sorry to turn Bob down, but he just wasn't believable.
Yeah, Squid's got to have more than 2 arms.
You usually do till the check arrives.
Bing... Bing, these golf matches you and Bob play for the Red Cross and other charities, who wins most of them?
It's a lie.
How did you know what I was going to say?
Well, I figured you were going to tell the truth.
How about hitting a few more? You want to play?
Okay.
Gee, Bob, Bing really likes golf, doesn't he?
Why not? After all, he raises his own caddies.
Oh, sorry, Bing. I really walked into that one.
Stork mad, that boy.
Oh, Mr. DeMille, it's been swell being here. And before we say goodnight, I'd like to tell you that I've been using your Lux soap for a long time now, and I like everything about it. So does my skin.
What'd you think about Lux soap as a page 1 item with us, Ginny?
Say, what do you figure you'll try out here next week, CB?
An exciting adventure story, Bing. The RKO hit Once Upon a Honeymoon. And our stars will be Claudette Colbert and Brian Ahern.
Let's see. Yes, I'll be listening, CB. None of my pictures are playing anywhere next Monday. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. And don't forget to go to the Lux Radio Theater. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Claudette Colbert and Brian Ahern in Once Upon a Honeymoon. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Bing Crosby was heard tonight through the courtesy of the Kraft Cheese Company. His next Paramount picture is Dixie. Bob Hope appeared through the courtesy of the Pepsodent Company and will soon be seen in Paramount's Let's Face It. Ginny Sims appeared through the courtesy of Philip Morris. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers, and this is your announcer, John M. Kennedy, reminding you to tune in next Monday night to hear Claudette Colbert and Brian Ahern in Once Upon a Honeymoon.
Mothers, are you worried about food rationing and shortages? Yes, I know it's harder now to get vitamin-rich foods. But have you ever thought about giving your family Vims? Vims give you
all the vitamins government experts say are essential.
And
the balanced formula doctors endorse.
In addition, Vims give you all the minerals commonly lacking. Get Vims at your druggist. VI for vitamins, double MS for minerals. Get that Vims feeling.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Victory Theater presents Amos and Andy with their famous guests, Victor Moore and Edward Arnold. But first, speaking for the United States government, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
There was a great soldier once, ladies and gentlemen, who used to get down on his knees before every battle and pray. His name was George Washington. And if he were alive today, I believe he'd be praying perhaps harder than he ever did before. He might almost regret that a century and a half of the freedom he fought for has bred in Americans a spirit of optimism and self-confidence, a blind faith in our own power. And he might pray that we may be taught a realistic concept of the battles that lie before us. We're a long way from winning this war, and a few scattered successes here and there merely emphasize the brutal, weary distance we have yet to go. We can't afford to underestimate the enemy. We've got to work much harder at what we're doing, think and live this war until we've won it. We're in the greatest dance of death this world has ever known. We can't afford to sit this dance out.
And now, an original half-hour comedy with Amos and Andy and Victor Moore and Edward Arnold. Even as love came to Andy Hardy, love has come to Andy Brown. It has come in the shape of lovely Yvonne Jefferson, and truly a lovely shape. Tonight, Andy is on his way to the Harlem branch of the Honesty Insurance Company, where Yvonne is employed to surprise her when she gets through work. Amos is driving Andy over in the taxi.
Yeah, Amos, Yvonne sure is going to be surprised when I called for her. She don't expect me yet.
Yeah, you sure she gonna be there this time of night?
Oh, sure. She always works late on account she take all the letters in shorthand, and it always takes her longer that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you really crazy about that gal, ain't you, Andy?
Amos, she is the one I don't want to sit under the apple tree with nobody else except. Boy, I done been bit by the love bug before, but this time it's really inoculated me. And I'm going to ask her to marry me, too.
Well, don't you think that's rushing things, little Andy? After all, you hardly know the gal.
Well, Amos, when you was hit with a great love, time stands still. Time don't mean nothing. What time is it?
It's almost 8 o'clock.
8. Step on it, Amos. I don't want to miss Yvonne. Come on, Amos.
Well, you don't need to rush. There's the building right here.
Where?
Right there on the corner there. See the sign there? Honesty Insurance Company. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Here, I don't see no lights on, Andy.
Yeah, well, she worked in the room in the back.
Oh, you going to the back door?
Well, there ain't no back door. I'm going up the alley and stick my head in the window and surprise her. Only you better come along and boost me up, count it's a high window.
Yeah, that's a high-class looking box of candy you got there, son.
Yeah, well, I've been saving the box for just such occasion like this, and I done filled it up with dime store candy. And then I put a ribbon around it.
Yeah, well, ain't she gonna know it's dime store candy even though you got it in a fancy box?
No. The only way she could tell is by eating it, but I has done writ $2.50 on the bottom of the box. And her eyes will pop out at the price 4 tongue can pop out for the candy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, wait a minute. There's the window right there, see? Boost me up on this ash can so I can see you.
Come on now. Get up there now.
Hold that ash can steady, Amos.
I can't.
Well, why not?
You're standing on my hand.
Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute. Shh. I can see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's there by herself, and she... Uh-oh. This ain't good. I don't believe it. I see it with my own eyes, and I still don't believe it. Amos, get me down.
Yeah. What's the matter, Andy?
Nothing at all. Come on.
Yeah, well, where we going? Ain't you going to surprise Andy?
She done beat me to it. She done surprised me.
Well, hello there, Andy. You see the morning's newspaper?
Ain't no mood for papers. Hello, Kingfish.
Yeah, well, say here in the headline, Honesty Insurance Company robbed of $796. And look here, 12 cents.
Pretty cheap company. Worrying about 12 cents.
Yeah, well, ain't that the place where your girlfriend worked there, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so. The paper said that she was the last one to leave the place. It also said that she said that the front door and all the windows was carefully locked before she left.
Yeah, you think the police gonna catch you, done it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, ain't no two ways about it. You know, they start with that fingerprint stuff and all that. And it won't take them long at all. Everything is science these days, Andy. Yeah, they catches the criminal right in the test tube.
They do, huh?
Oh, yeah. Everything is scientific. Yeah, I see the moving picture ones where the only clue was a piece of hair. Yeah, they analyzed the hair and they found some special kind of tonic on it.
Yeah.
Then they analyzed the tonic and they found out what drugstore it was bought at. Then they analyzed the druggist. Yeah, I tell you, just from that one piece of hair, you ain't never seen so much arresting in your life. It was arresting people right and left. The whole thing ought to be a good lesson to criminals.
What's the lesson?
always wear a hat when he goes on a job.
What? Yeah, well, I guess that's right, all right, yeah. Say, Kingfish, here come Amos. I wonder if I could be alone with him. I want to speak to him about something
Oh,
confidential.
sure thing, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, hello there, Kingfish. How are you there, Andrew?
Hello, Amos.
Yeah, well, I'll be running along. See you boys later. So long.
Yeah. Amos, did you see the paper?
You mean about the honesty robber? Yeah, I see it then.
Listen, son, I'm going crazy here. I got to speak to you. When I looked in that window last night, I see Yvonne take some money out the safe.
Sure enough.
Yeah, and she put it in her pocketbook.
You know, I figured there was something like that from the way you've been worrying, Andy.
Amos, what must I do?
Well, you gotta go and tell the police, Andy.
Yeah, but how can I do that? I was in love with Yvonne.
Andy, if she took that money, then you was in real love with the wrong person.
Now that she got $796.12, I ain't.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. It's your duty to report what you see, no matter who you see do it.
Yeah, I was afraid that's what you'd say. I guess you're right, though, Amos. Oh, me, poor little Yvonne. Yesterday we was two little lovebirds. Now she gonna be a jailbird and I gonna be a stool pigeon.
Well, did you see the news, Henry? The gal of Anna's done been arrested.
Yes, I heard. You met the young lady, too, didn't you, Brother Crawford?
Yes, I did meet her. As a matter of fact, she visited us once at our house, but I'm trying to keep that quiet. My wife was very much annoyed when she was arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure was thoughtless of her to go and get arrested after visiting you. But some people don't know nothing about etiquette, you know.
Yes, and according to the papers, she's been indicted and she's out on bail. It seems that some cousin of hers put up the bail for her.
My wife told me that there was even some talk of Andy marrying the girl. That my wife will not stand for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, now, there's a peculiar situation there. A man gonna marry a gal, and now he got to go to court and appear as a witness against her for robbery. That's why I always keep saying to my wife, honey, never do nothing that's gonna land you in the clink. Because I love you too much.
Yes, love is thicker than larceny, all right. Well, look here. Look who's coming. Hello, Andy.
Hello, fellas.
Sorry about the news, Andy. Well, I'll be running along now.
Yes, it was a big blow to all of us, and my deepest sympathy goes to the poor girl who was caught stealing the money. And to you, too. Goodbye, Andy.
So long. Kingfish, don't go. Yeah. Listen, you knows about the law. If a party of the first part tell the police, which is the party of the second part, what he see the party of the third part do, does I have to appear in court against her as the party of the fourth part?
Yeah, that's some party you got there, son. Let me think here. Now, that comes under the America's Hapless Witness Law and all that versus vice stuff, you see. Wait a minute. Now, in the case of the state of Ohio versus my brother-in-law, how did that go? They wanted him to appear as a witness, and he didn't want to. He flatly refused because he knew that they couldn't do nothing about it.
What happened?
I don't know. I'll go ask him as soon as he get out of jail. But listen, Andy, here's what you better do. You just... who is coming in here?
Pardon me, but is there a Mr. Andrew H. Brown anywhere around?
Well, what do you want to see him about?
I'm going to beat it, Andy. I'll see you later.
Okay, Kingfish, okay.
He called you Andy. Then you are Mr. Brown. I know it.
Well, so what? I know it before you did.
Would it be a terrible imposition if I sat down?
No. Go ahead. Sit down. What do you want, mister?
My name is Victor Moore.
Yeah, glad to know you, Mr. Moore. In connection with what can I do something for you about?
Excuse me while I loosen my shoelaces a little. All day long, I just walk. It certainly feels good to sit down for a minute.
Mister, this is my busy day. I got a lot on my mind. Proceed with everything, will you?
Oh, it's just a little matter of... Well, darn it all, I just have to offer you this summons.
Well, thanks just the same, but excuse me for protruding, but, did you say...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought you say. And I ain't gonna accept it.
Oh, Mr. Brown, that isn't playing the game.
I tell you, I ain't gonna take it.
Oh, please.
No, sir.
pretty please?
No, sir. I ain't accepting no summonses.
But I'm supposed to serve it on you, and if I don't, it puts me in an awful bad light.
Well, the light's better outside. Goodbye.
But, Mr. Brown, think of my wife and kiddies. You're taking the bread right out of their mouths, the roof from over their heads, and the clothes off of their backs. Which way is the river?
River? Go 2 blocks south and... well, what is I doing here? You mean if I don't accept this summonses that you is ruined?
Irrevocably.
Is that good or bad?
That's bad.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do nothing to hurt you, mister, but the thing is, I don't want to appear as a witness against my gal.
Your gal?
Yeah. If I goes to court, she goes to jail.
Oh, that's awful.
On the other hand, though, if I don't take this summonses, you lose your job. All right, come on, serve me with the summonses. I'll work it out some way.
But then your girl would have to go to jail. My goodness. We can't have that. I'll just tear it up.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You got to eat. Give me that summonses.
No, I won't give it to you. I won't send that girl to the penitentiary. I'll starve first.
Is you going to give me that paper, or does I have to take it away from you?
You're not man enough to take it away from me. If I don't want to serve a summons, a mule couldn't pull it away from me.
I couldn't I? Give me that.
No, wait. You can't.
Give me it.
Oh, now, you shouldn't have taken it.
Listen here, mister. You is too soft-hearted. Take my advice and get out of this summonses business. You don't belong in it.
Is that so? I've been serving them for 40 years, and I never saw this method fail yet. So long, sucker.
What is that you say, honey? Speak louder, honey. Speak louder, will you? Oh, now, don't you worry, Yvonne. Oh, we're going to work out something smart to get you out of this mess. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be waiting for you to pick me up. Yeah, you honk for me. Goodbye, sweetness. Goodbye. Hot dog. Doggone, the love bug is nibbling again. Yes, sir. She's under the apple tree with nobody else but me. Oh, hello, Amos. Hello there.
Andy. What's come over you? You act like you was a new man. You rolling along there?
Oh, no, I was the same man, but I had a retread. I just talked to Yvonne. Boy, she done forgive me.
Yeah, but Andy, you got to testify against her.
Yeah, but I'm going to meet her in a few minutes, and we're going to spend the evening working out her defense. I was a defense worker.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I figures that she ought to base her case on temporarily insanity.
Insanity?
Yeah, every time she gets near some money, she go insane.
Yeah, well, I hope for her sake that her lawyer got a better defense than that.
Oh, she got a good lawyer, all right. I done told her about that alley lawyer, you know, but she say no.
Yeah, well, he ain't no good. He ain't even got a degree. He ain't even allowed inside the railing in the courtroom.
Yeah, but don't forget he got a megaphone and he can cross-examine at 40 feet and still get results. Oh, he already got a good angle on the defense.
What's that?
He say she ought to plead that she thought it was Confederate money and she was just taking it home as a souvenir.
And what if that don't work, Andy?
Well, then he say you gotta throw away the law books, pull the light switch, and make a break for the door.
Listen, he really a great lawyer, all right. I don't know how he stays out of jail himself. He must be his own best client.
Oh, we don't even need him. I got an idea of my own. See you later, Amos. See you later. There's Yvonne honking for me.
Yeah, well, wait a minute, Andy. What's your idea for the defense?
Well, my idea is that she ought to explain to the judge that she was just collecting her salary in advance on account of she always do her Christmas shopping early. I was coming, honey. I was coming.
And now, Mr. DeMille.
War is never a bargain to anybody. No one has time to go window shopping for the cheapest weapons or cut-rate strategy. War is brutal and bloody and expensive. In this war, it's up to us to see that our men, on land, on sea, and in the air, are as well equipped as their enemies. or a good deal better. And we've got to pay for it. I've got to pay for it. You've got to pay for it. We've got to buy war bonds. Buy them now and keep on buying them. You all know why. But just to bring it home to you in a way you might not have considered, let me read you part of a poem. A poem written by a United States Marine somewhere in the Pacific. And if our lines should form and break because of things you failed to make, the extra tank or ship or plane for which we waited, all in vain, and the supplies that never came, will you then come and take the blame? For we, not you, will pay the cost of battles you, not we, have lost. That's a Marine's way of putting it. One answer a civilian can write is a check for more war bonds.
Henry, hello, Kingfish, hello, all set for the big trial?
Oh, yes, Henry, waiting for the big trial. That courtroom is sure crowded in there, but my wife's inside holding 2 seats down front, you see. She kind of spread herself out, reserving both places.
Yes, well, your wife can do that.
Yeah, ain't it the truth, yeah? I always say that she... now, wait a minute, Henry, wait a minute. Your wife ain't no demi-tassel herself, you know.
Say, fellas, you see Andy?
No, I ain't seen him for 5 days. Amos, what you so excited about?
Well, nobody's seen him for 5 days. The trial has started already, and he ain't here yet.
Will you please clear the hall? Those of you who are going into the courtroom better get in there. The trial's been on for 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, that must mean Andy has arrived. Come on, fella, let's go in there.
And I say to you, members of the jury, this is a clear-cut case of grand larceny. There's no testimony the defense can present which will refute this. I would like to call the first witness to the stand. George Stevens, Kingfish for Mr. Clayton, C.
Oh, coming right up, Yossi.
Mr. Stevens, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
I do, Yossi. Got my integrity right with me, Yossi.
All right, sit down, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, my son, thank you.
Now then, what can you tell the court in regard to the character of the defendant?
You mean the gal that stole the money from...
Objection! Sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Witness will confine himself to answering the questions put to him.
Put that question again, please, Mr. Prosecutor.
Prosecutor!
Yeah.
The question, Mr. Stevens, had to do with the character of E1 Jefferson. Now, what do you know about her?
If I can't say something good about a person, I don't never say nothing. So in her case, I shuts up, you see. On the other hand, though, I has known her for a while, and frankly, I wouldn't trust her with a hot stove and a blackout.
Objection! Sustained. You may step down, Mr. Stevens.
I put a coal stove in the blackout.
Objection!
I done the best I could. Give me another crack at it. I might do a little better here.
Step down, Mr. Stevens.
Getting right down. That's good.
Now then, will Mr. Andrew H. Brown please take the stand? Court will be cleared if order is not maintained. Swear the witness in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
So help me.
Mr. Brown, how long have you known the defendant?
Who, me? We as old friends. We practically growed up together lately.
How long have you known her?
4 weeks and 3 days. We growed up fast.
Did you see the defendant at approximately 8 o'clock in the evening of August 1st, 1942 at the Honey Insurance Company?
Me and Amos was...
Answer yes or no?
Can I have a glass of water?
Clerk, pour the witness a glass of water.
This testifying is thirsty business.
Here you are.
Thank you. That was good.
Now answer the question, please.
What question? Where was we?
Did you see the defendant on the evening of August the 1st at the Honesty Insurance Company?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell the court in your own words just what transpired on that occasion.
Well, I had a box of candy for her, so I went round in the back of the insurance company to surprise her through the window. I climbed up on the ash can and looked in.
When you got up on the ash can, Mr. Brown, could you see the defendant through the window?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell the court exactly what you saw.
Well, when I looked through the window, I see can I have another glass of water?
Order in this court. Order. Go on, here's your water, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I'm so hot as the one of that didn't sizzle going down.
Now, will you please tell us what you saw, Mr. Brown?
Where was I?
On top of the ash can! What did you see?
Well, I saw...
Excuse me a moment. Can the defense ask one question?
This is irregular and unusual, but if the prosecution has no objection, court has none.
No objection. You may answer the question, Mr. Brown.
Judge, if I object here, would you sustain it?
No.
Okay. Go ahead, mister. Go ahead.
Mr. Brown, when you looked through that window from the top of the ash can, is it not true that you saw your wife in that room?
Yes, sir, that's true.
Do you mean to tell this court that you did not see the defendant, Yvonne Jefferson?
Yes, sir, I seen her, too. I seen them both at the same time because they are both the same people. Me and her got married this morning.
If the court please, the defense moves to strike out the testimony of this witness on the grounds that a man's disqualified by law from testifying for or against his wife.
Witness will step down. Court reporter will strike out his testimony. The jury is instructed to disregard what he has said. Prosecution will proceed with his case. Will excuse, Mr. Brown.
Does that mean I gotta tell nobody about seeing her steal the money?
I don't see Andy nowhere around here, Kingfish. Maybe one of us should have kind of covered the bus station.
Yeah, well, sure he said he was going to take a train, Amos. He said he was going to the South Seas, and the buses don't go there.
Yeah, well, trains don't go there neither. There's something awful wrong about this thing, Kingfish. Why is he going away all alone? He done married that gal to save her, and, well, he ain't done seen her since yesterday in the courtroom. And if he's running away from something...
Look, Amos, look. Ain't that him over there by the ticket window?
Yeah, that's him, all right. Come on, Kingfish. Andy, hey, Andy.
Amos, Kingfish, what you doing here?
Listen, Andy, nothing. We ain't trying to mess in your business, Andy. We just wanted to say goodbye to you.
Oh, goodbye. I was off to the South Seas. You've been a good friend, Amos. I'll send you a coconut.
Goodbye, Andy.
Another thing, Andy, you didn't tell us nothing about the wedding. When one of my friends gets married, why, I kind of like to hear about the wedding.
Yeah, tell us about it, Andy. You got time before your train leaves.
Oh, well, it was just a simple ceremony.
Yeah, that's the best kind, simple, yeah.
Yeah, we went to this justice of the peace, and he stood in front of us, and Yvonne was on one side of me. The justice's wife was on the other side, and behind me was Yvonne's cousin with the gun, and there was some organ music, and...
Oh, wait a minute, Joe, wait a minute. What's that you say about a fella with a gun, Andy?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, me, I should never say that.
Oh, come on now, talk, Andy. Come on now, tell us what you're going to tell us.
You was forced into this marriage, Andy, ain't that right?
Amos, please. Their cousin said if I say anything, they'd find me floating down the river. And you know I can't swim a stroke.
Now, look here. We ain't gonna let him get away with nothing like that, is we, Kingfish?
No, sir. That cousin can't scare us. You ain't scared, is you, Andy?
Who, me? A little.
Oh, now look here. Come on, Andy. We're going to get this marriage null and voided.
Quit dragging me, boys. Let go of my arm. Let go of my arm so I can get my money back for this ticket.
Okay, say, where was you going, Andy?
I don't know. I just asked the man for $12 worth of distance. That ought to take me someplace in the South Seas.
Well, you can't go, Andy.
Well, what is I going to do with that sarong that I bought?
And therefore, in view of the fact that said Andrew Brown was forced into this marriage under threat of bodily harm, I do hereby declare said marriage annulled.
Who gets the custody of the $796.12?
And now that you can legally testify again, Mr. Brown, will you please tell us what you saw from the top of the act can?
Yes, sir. First, could I have another glass of water?
Defendant, Yvonne Jefferson, having been found guilty, is hereby remanded to the custody of the sheriff and ordered held for sentence. Court adjourned.
Well, Andy, I guess that's that.
Yeah, thank goodness that's over. You sure they caught that cousin fella that was the best man at my wedding?
Oh, yeah, he's in jail, all right. Only he wasn't no cousin of Yvonne's. He was her real sweetheart, Andy.
He was?
Yeah.
Well, Amos, that experience has done taught me one thing.
What's that?
No more women. I is off women's for life. They is poison. So help me, Amos, if I ever look at another woman again. If I ever...
what you staring at, Andy?
There goes the sweetest looking gal I done ever seen. I gotta run along now, Amos. So long, I'll see you later.
Oh, wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 6th of the Victory Theater programs, and the first time that Amos and Andy have appeared in a half-hour comedy radio play. It's your pleasure, gentlemen, to have you with us.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. DeMille. Andy and me, more than glad to do anything we can for Uncle Sam, ain't we, Andy?
We sure is. We is a couple of nephews he's been awful good to. And we know we can't have no E pluribus without no unum.
You may not have said that quite grammatically, Andy, but nobody has ever said it better. We do need absolute unity and plenty of fortitude, because we can't expect an easy victory. Our recent successes on several fronts are very heartening, but we must be prepared for many hardships and reverses before total victory is achieved. The present military actions should not make us forget the dangerous situation on the Russian front and the difficulties of overseas supplies. They should spur us to increased production and greater civilian efforts.
Ain't them the exact words I was telling you this morning, Amos?
Well, them is the words, but not exact, Andy. What you say is that if we want to stay in there punching, we ain't got time to stop and shake hands with ourselves.
No, but I think you've got time to shake hands with me. Thank you, Amos and Andy, for being here. And our thanks to Edward Arnold and Victor Moore.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Miller.
thank you, Mr. Miller.
Good night. Good night. And remember, a bond in the hand helps the Rangers to land.
The United States government takes this opportunity to thank all of the people who made this Victory Theater program possible. The stars, the writers, Lud Gluskin, who wrote and directed the musical score, and the men behind the scenes in the Columbia Broadcasting System and their affiliated stations. All of them have given their time and talent without return, so that you and your government can have a rallying point in the conduct of the war. Next week at the same time, the Victory Theater will present as the contribution of the Screen Guild show that stirring story of an average citizen, Joe Smith, American, adapted from the picture of the same name and starring Robert Young and Ruth Hussey. Be sure to tune in again next Monday evening. And may I remind you that starting September 1st, Hollywood's greatest stars will be in or near your hometown. Join them in helping to put your town over the top in War Bonds for Victory. Your announcer has been Del Sharbert. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is Orson Welles, speaking from London. The Black Museum, the famous repository of death. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of homicide, where everyday objects, an earthenware pot, a silver shilling, a typewriter ribbon, all are touched by murder. 4 small bottles. Other familiar objects, medicine bottles, shining glass, cork stoppered, the labels in neat, clear handwriting. Such bottles are in the medicine cabinet of almost every home. These were found...
Found one, Inspector. 2 ounce size.
The others can't be far.
Yes, here are 2 more. 1 ounce capacity, these. And here's the 4th.
Innocent little things, aren't they, sir?
Well, today, those 4 small bottles have a place, a very honored place, in the Black Museum.
From the annals of the Criminal Investigation Department of the London Police, we bring you the dramatic stories of the crimes recorded by the objects in Scotland Yard's Gallery of Death, the Black Museum.
Here we are, Black Museum. Scotland Yard's Museum of Murder. Yes, here lies death. In these hundreds and hundreds of objects, large and small, is the means to death, 1,000 methods of killing, all neatly labeled to indicate who and what and where and when. There's a kitchen mop, long handles, gray with use, gray where the red-brown stain fails to cover the grayness. Look closely at the harsh metal binds the strings of this utensil. Yes, this blade struck, and struck again before the mop itself removed the traces of the crime. Here we are. Here are the 4 small bottles. 3 of 1 ounce capacity. 1 holds 2 ounces. They mark a strange story. A story out of the Edwardian era, when man was still lord of all he surveyed and women were just beginning to demand equality.
To the ladies, Reverend. Although I would prefer toasting them in something slightly stronger than tea.
To the ladies, my friend.
To listen to my husband, Reverend, you think he was old-fashioned and not an advanced thinker for this age.
I, an advanced thinker? Why, Anne, my
But
dear.
you are, Oscar. You really are.
At the risk of shocking you, Reverend, but then you're a young man, and not, I assume, as easily shocked as some pastors I've known. I believe a man should have 2 wives. Really, sir?
He means it, Reverend. Listen to him.
I believe a man needs 2 wives. One to cook, sew, and care for the household. The other, to be a companion when a man needs intellectual stimulation, to lend beauty to the drawing room, and grace and wit.
Then you would give the latter education.
Exactly. And since I am not allowed 2 wives, I chose the latter. You're new here, Reverend. You don't know that I married Anne when she was very young and sent her to Brussels and then a French university for her education before installing her here as my wife.
Why, that's unheard of, sir. You are a pioneer in the field, Mr.
Oh, yes, Mr. Oscar Stone, wholesale grocer and a man of means, was truly advanced for his age, the age of 99, and very liberal in his philosophies. In fact, he was so considerate of his wife and of the difference between her age and his own that he encouraged rather than looked askance at her companionship with the Reverend Edgar Sweet, a much, much younger man than Mr. Stone himself.
Edgar, you've been a good friend to me these past months.
I'm happy to hear you say so, Anne.
That is why, well, I'm not hesitating to tell you something which I feel is rather unfair.
Tell me what it is.
Oscar has drawn his will.
Oh, he's my friend, my good friend. I'd hate to see him pass on, but every man must have his house in order.
Edgar, you don't understand. Making the will is all right. It's what he's put in it.
Go on, my dear.
He has left me his entire estate, provided I never marry again.
That is his right, you know.
It's not his right. He's afraid someone might marry me after he's gone. For the money.
He's only protecting you from fortune hunters, Anne.
Then why did he give me an education if he doesn't think enough of me to let me protect myself?
A serpent in Eden? Perhaps. Perhaps not. But it is clear that the young lady had a will of her own and wanted to control her own destiny. In any case, the friendship ripened, not only between the 2 young people, but between Edgar and Oscar as well.
Edgar, my friend, I'm not well. I saw a doctor today and I am not well.
I can't believe it. You look fine. Fine.
The debilitation of age.
But you're not old. Well, 55 isn't old.
When you worked as hard as I have for almost 50 of those 55 years, Well, in any case, I've decided to take a rest.
Excellent, Oscar. That's what you need, an extended vacation.
I've made arrangements to go to the shore. A month at the sea ought to practically, well, rejuvenate me.
I'll miss you. Our talks have been a great stimulus to my work.
And I thought that, well, even pastors have vacations occasionally.
Occasionally we do.
Of course. So I reserved accommodations for you, along with Anne and myself.
But I can't possibly afford...
As my guest.
You don't know how much I appreciate this, Oscar, but I couldn't accept this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were alone, Oscar.
I'm glad you came in, Andy. I was telling Edgar we're going to the shore for a month.
Oh, Oscar, how nice.
I'm insisting that Edgar come along as my guest.
How can I accept such an invitation?
Tell him you will find him as welcome as I will, Anne.
Of course I'll find him welcome, Oscar. Edgar knows that.
They compromised. Edgar came for weekends, the ripening of a friendship, or the growth of a triangle, the classic triangle, husband, wife, and the young man. The summer ended. Oscar and Anne returned to new lodgings in Pimlico, and they took an additional room.
Edgar, you like it?
Bookcases, a couch, a fine desk, all this room. How could I help liking it?
And in here, right next door.
Edgar, my boy, welcome to your new lodgings. Now, we are not only friends, we are neighbors.
Really, Oscar, I don't know why you...
But there was more, rather interesting. One afternoon, while Oscar was at his doctor's office.
May I disturb you for a moment, Edgar?
Oh, of course, Anne. What is it?
Remember, months ago, I told you about Oscar's will.
Oh, yes, I remember. Why?
He took out that awful clause. If I want to, I can marry anyone I please one day. And you were the executor.
Everything was quite smooth. Quite smooth. In fact, Oscar began to feel quite a bit better. At least he said so, and insisted that Edgar and Anne accompany him to a horse show.
Why do you love horses so, Oscar?
Perhaps because I always wanted to ride and never learned. Oh, there's a fine animal.
He must be at least 16 hands high.
Edgar, why don't you take Anne to the stalls to see her favorites? I'll just sit here a while. I guess I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
Will you, Edgar, please?
You think you'll be all right here alone, Oscar?
It's a picture, isn't it? The elderly husband sitting on the bench watching the two young people stroll away. What are his thoughts as he sees them disappear in the crowd? What would his thoughts have been if he'd heard their conversation?
I'm dreadfully worried about Oscar.
He seems much better. Seashore did him good.
Seems is the word. He's not really.
Anne, what are you telling me?
That his doctor has confided to me. Oscar may not live out the year.
The next morning there were signs that Anne's words might become the truth. She sent for the doctor, a youngish man named Richards, who lived some half a mile from the lodgings.
I don't like this, Mrs. Stone, not at all.
Oh, dear.
You stop frightening my wife, young man.
The truth, sir, is the truth. You're not well. Your stomach's in very bad shape. Now I shall prescribe for you, and your wife will see that you take your medicine, won't you, Mrs. Stone?
Oh, of course, Doctor.
The young doctor was very certain, but not Oscar. His pain continued. Anne was obviously very upset. She took Edgar aside.
Edgar, I want you to do something for me.
If I can.
I cannot see Oscar suffer the way he does at times. I know a way to ease his pain, but I need your help.
Of course.
I want you to buy me some chloroform.
Chloroform?
Yes. A few drops on a handkerchief, and he will sleep easily. I learned about it in the practical nursing classes in Brussels.
But Dr. Richards will get you some.
No. He'll never believe I know how to use it. Here's a pound note. Please, Edgar.
Edgar went to the nearest chemist shop.
What can I do for you, Reverend?
I'd like a little chloroform.
Whatever for, sir?
I understand it's good for taking out grease spots.
Oh, yes, I suppose it is. But be very careful with it.
3 more times, Edgar walked into chemist shops and bought a small amount of chloroform. There are the 3 1-ounce bottles and the 1 2-ounce bottle. Out of consideration for Anne's convenience, no doubt, Edgar poured the contents of all the small bottles into a larger one and delivered the chloroform to Anne. Quite suddenly, Oscar became a whole lot better.
Landlord, I want to speak with the landlord.
Yes, Mr. Stone? How can I help you?
I want to prepare a surprise for my wife and the Reverend for tonight.
Yes, sir.
A New Year's Eve party. Some roast duck, a bit of cold ham, some good cheese, a bottle of champagne, and a bottle of good brandy.
It's short notice, Mr. Stone. But I'll do my best. What'll you be eating?
What everyone else eats. And will they be surprised? Oh, I'm feeling wonderful for the first time in months. And for breakfast tomorrow, see if your maid can find a haddock, a large one. Oh, I feel I shall be quite hungry in the morning.
Oscar wasn't hungry New Year's morning. Oscar was dead. And today, the 4 small bottles which played so large a part in his death can be seen in the Black Museum. It was a sad New Year's Day for Anne Stone and a bewildering day for the Reverend Edgar Sweet. Oscar Stone, husband and friend, lay dead quite suddenly, and after what seemed an indicated quick recovery. But that was only the first event of January 1st, 1910. Onto the scene strode an old man, Oscar's 75-year-old father. Anne met him at the door to the Stone apartment.
Oh, Father. Father.
Yes, of course. Cry all you want. I want to see my son.
He's in here, Father.
All right. Who is this?
Reverend Sweet, our good friend and pastor.
Yes, I heard about you. Oscar wrote me.
This moment comes to all of us, sir. We can only pray for courage.
I've got courage. What I want is facts. I'll see my boy now. It looks as if he died in his sleep.
He did. So peacefully. I didn't realize it until morning.
You were a good boy, Oscar. I shouldn't be outliving you. Huh? There's a funny smell around his mouth.
But the doctor said he had gastritis, Father.
That's not what I smell. Are you having a post-mortem?
Dr. Richards asked for permission to do one.
Richards? Who's he?
The family doctor, Mr. Stone, a fine young man.
All right, if he wants to do it, all right, but I want my man there with him.
Father, are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating anything. I just don't like the look of this. For his own protection, this Richards ought to have another man present, that's all. My boy's no right.
The second doctor arrived, and forthwith, behind locked doors, the autopsy was performed. In the landlord's parlor, Anne waited, with Edgar to give her support and courage. Presently, the door opened.
Mrs. Stone.
Yes, Dr. Richards.
We are ready with our report.
Did you find out anything?
We are not certain as yet. Dr. Fletcher, your father-in-law's man, suggests Mr. Stone swallowed chloroform.
Chloroform?
Yes. Will you come upstairs and hear the report, please?
Anne?
Yes?
Did you... the chloroform I bought for you, that is...
It's still in its bottle, Edgar. Don't worry, you don't even have to mention it. Shall we go upstairs now?
The 2 young people went upstairs, but not hand in hand. There was a sudden reserve between them. In the room where the doctors and old Mr. Stone awaited them.
This is Dr. Fletcher, my daughter-in-law, Pastor Sweet.
How do you do?
As Dr. Richards was in charge of the case, perhaps he's the one to give you our official report.
Oh, please do, Dr. Richards.
It's a simple report. We are unable to find any natural cause of death. The contents of the stomach are suspicious. We're holding them for the coroner.
Have you any particular suspicions, gentlemen?
None which we care to state officially.
You'll realize the room where death occurred must be sealed and its contents must not be touched.
Oh, my purse is in there.
It'll have to stay there.
Oh, surely I may have my coat and a hat.
I assume so. If Dr. Fletcher's present when you remove them.
Anne went to stay with a cousin, a brief train journey away. The coroner's inquest was held and adjourned, pending a full report from a government analyst. That was all. But Edgar dispatched a note to Anne, and she met him as he requested, in a quiet tea room in Pimlico.
Edgar, what's the matter with you? You haven't looked me straight in the eye since we met today.
I can't seem to help myself. Anne, Dr. Richards did tell you that Oscar might not live out the year.
Of course he did.
It came so suddenly. They've all behaved so strangely. And I'm afraid I'm finished. If this develops into anything, I shall lose my pulpit.
If you don't do anything foolish, I certainly won't.
Everything's going wrong. I feel as if... Anne, I bought that chloroform. If there is chloroform in the autopsy report... Anne, don't you see?
Forget the chloroform. Forget all about it.
I can't. Where is it? What did you do with it?
I took it with me when I left the apartment. Right in my coat pocket, under the nose of my dear father-in-law. I poured it out of the train window. Then I threw the bottle away.
Oh, that makes it worse. If they prove that Oscar was... Don't you see? They'll trace the chloroform to me.
In other words, Edgar, you're implying that I gave it to Oscar.
I'm not implying anything of the kind.
What else are you saying? Edgar, you helped me over a bad time. Now I think it will be best if we do not see each other anymore. Goodbye, Edgar.
The lady was annoyed, perhaps rightly so. The young man was frightened, very rightly so. In their separate ways, each awaited the report of the government analyst. At long last, Dr. Richards came to the young widow.
The news could be a lot worse, Mrs. Stone. They could have found arsenic or one of the slower, more common poisons.
What have they found, Doctor?
Poisoning by chloroform.
Oh, Doctor, that is the worst.
How so? Don't tell me you had some in your possession.
I did. I had my reasons. Doctor, my married life was not happy. I am young. He was old. Practically my father. He kept putting me in Edgar's company. I began to... When two people are together constantly,
Please go on, Mrs. Stone.
I obtained the chloroform. I kept it in a drawer. But I never had a secret from Oscar. Never. On any score. So on New Year's Eve after our party, I told him I had it and where it was. He spoke to me sadly, but kindly, grieved that I'd been feeling about him as I did. Then he went to sleep. Or I thought he did. The next I knew, he was dead.
Did you look at the bottle?
Yes, I couldn't tell how much was gone. I took the bottle and I poured what was in it from the train as I went.
The autopsy report came to Edgar as well. He wrestled with himself and finally took the only course which seemed open.
Inspector Seward?
Yes, come in, sir. Sit down.
Thank you.
I understand you have some information in the matter of the death of Oscar Stone.
I do. You see, I bought the chloroform.
They should be in here somewhere, Sergeant.
If the little parson is telling the truth.
I'm sure he is. Let himself in for something with that woman, didn't he?
It looks that way. Leave it to a woman every time.
Grease spots, eh? Not bad for an amateur. I suppose this is the gorse patch where you said he threw those small bottles?
Yes, this is the place. I found one, Inspector. 2-ounce size.
The others can't be far. Yes, here are 2 more. 1 ounce capacity, these.
And here's the 4th. Innocent little things, aren't they, sir?
Anne Stone, I have a warrant for your arrest on the charge of willful murder of your husband.
Edgar Sweet, I have a warrant for your arrest. You stand charged as an accessory before the fact in the murder of Oscar Stone.
The trial took place at the next assizes.
Gentlemen of the jury, the Attorney General, who has this case in hand, with full knowledge of the facts, will present no evidence against the Reverend Mr. Sweet. You are therefore directed to find him not guilty, and I shall order his release at once.
Edgar Sweet left the courtroom, a much wiser young man. The trial of Anne Stone proceeded and rested entirely on the medical evidence.
Dr. Fletcher, you have described yourself as an expert in criminal toxicology. We have accepted you as such. Is that correct?
It is, sir.
Very well. Now, I call the particular attention of the jury to the answers you will give to these questions, as they will have great bearing on the evidence against my client. First, sir, have you ever known of a recorded case of murder by liquid chloroform?
No.
Is there any record, to your knowledge, of the forcible administration of this liquid, of anyone pouring it down a victim's throat?
There is not.
If the victim were sleeping, for instance...
The burning would waken him. It'd probably go down his windpipe, not his gullet.
And there would be burns, clearly visible after death.
There would be.
Then, in your expert opinion, Dr. Fletcher, is it impossible to commit murder by liquid chloroform?
Nothing's impossible, but it's highly improbable.
Thank you, Doctor. That is all.
The chief witness of the Crown, Dr. Fletcher, had given his testimony. All that remained, in the opinion of the defending counsel, was to create a reasonable doubt in the minds of the jury. He called no witnesses, but spoke for 6 hours, summing up. In essence, he said,
Oscar Stone was a loving, if elderly, husband. He felt his life was over. Remember, he was an eccentric who believed in having 2 wives. Can we say that this man, who had given so much to his sweet young wife, was not prepared to give her the greatest gift of all, her freedom? Once he knew that chloroform was in the house, could he not have taken it himself and passed quickly into the coma which ended in death? And if he gave this lovely girl freedom, are you, who sit in judgment, to do any less?
The judge was clear, if somewhat caustic, in his charge to the jury.
There have been sweet faces which hid guilty consciences before. When a young wife and a young man are thrust into daily contact by a doting husband, strange events have a way of taking place. All this is true, but one salient remains. You may find this woman guilty as charged only if no reasonable doubt exists in your minds that she did commit the crime of which she stands.
The jury deliberated for over 2 hours. There were 12 solemn men when they filed back into the jury box. Anne Stone rose to face them. The clerk asked for the verdict. The foreman rose and spoke clearly.
We have considered the grave suspicions in this case, but find no evidence that would indicate who administered the poison to the victim. We find the accused, therefore, not guilty.
But despite that perhaps surprising verdict of not guilty, the 4 famous small bottles can be seen today in the Black Museum.
Orson Welles will be back with you in just a moment.
No double jeopardy. That's an ancient English law. No double jeopardy. One cannot be tried twice for the same offense. It was felt, therefore, that since Anne Stone had been acquitted, if she had committed this crime, she ought to tell the world how it had been done. But no. All that was heard thereafter from Anne Stone was a letter addressed to her defending counsel. It read as follows. Dear Sir Edward, I feel I owe my life to your earnest efforts. I have not been a good woman, and my temptations have been terrible. But though I have not kept my vows, you will judge me mercifully. And there the case rests. Now until we meet next time, in the same place, and I tell you another story about the Black Museum, I remain as always, obediently yours.
Thanks very much for joining us tonight. We broadcast every Sunday from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Time. Until next time, sleep tight.
This is a production of Lovato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.